Welcome into the Cam Strick Podcast, episode number 182, presented by Hair Club.
What's up?
Oh, man, I got so much to get into. I really don't know where to begin, to be honest with you.
We'll begin somewhere.
Well, there's a lot of things that are going on right now. First off, I'm ready for some nicer weather. I mean, I don't know where you're at. The people listening right now, it's probably cold up in Canada and whatever, but I'm done with this like foggy, gray weather, man. I'm not having it right now. Could use some sunshine.
Yeah, I don't like it, man. I don't like it at all. Fucking Winnipeg just got rocked with 24 inches, I think. They had to cancel a game the other day.
I know they did because of the snow. I know.
I'm just saying, like, I was talking to people, like, who would you rather play for or get drafted by? You know, Arizona or a Winnipeg. Mm-hmm. And, you know, Arizona's got next 3 years are in that $5,000 stadium or 5,000 seat stadium, which is fucking embarrassing overall. Like, let's be honest here. There's not much they could do, I guess. I don't know the ins and outs of the money situation, the lease and all that shit, but you're playing in front of 5,000 people. That's fucking embarrassing.
You know, I've done that before. I've played in front of 5,000. It can be very loud. It can be very loud.
Yeah, whatever.
And there's a lot of energy in those buildings when you have 5,000.
Yeah, I played juniors too, Andy. Actually, not two. I actually played juniors. But no, it's a little embarrassing. So my point is, like, dude, would you rather, if you're a fucking young stud, you want to play in Winnipeg and deal with Canada and deal with the weather and stuff like that, although you are treated like God up there and they love you.
See, I hate that.
That's what I would
narrative. Do. Like, would I want to, like, live in, I mean, listen, I'm not from Winnipeg, but here's the deal. People in Winnipeg are saying the same thing about St. Louis. Like, the people want to live in St. Louis, whatever. They see shit on the news and whatever. Yeah. They think they have a certain perception. People who are from the area, and they probably love Winnipeg, man. They're proud Winnipegians.
Yeah, but those guys aren't from the area. You know, like I'm telling you.
Well, they're from Canada. Who wouldn't want to play in the NHL in Canada? I get it, dude. The weather sucks. It's not Toronto. It's not Vancouver. It's not Montreal. I get it. Would I volunteer if they said, hey, you get to choose where you get to play in the NHL? You get to go anywhere you want. Would I say, oh, send me to Winnipeg? No, I wouldn't. No. But, hey, listen, man, there's something to be said about playing in a Canadian city where you're an icon. And if it's good enough for people like Paul Stastny and, like, Scheifele and all these guys, man, and Paul Maurice. Dude,
well, that's what I'm saying. Like, don't get me wrong. It's nice to be down in Arizona. It's nice to have the weather and all this shit. But whatever. Like, in the summertime, you deal with the weather. You enjoy the weather in the summertime.
And they're out of there.
And, like, I'm thinking, if I'm a kid, I want to be in the spotlight, man. I don't want to be buried in Arizona. Yeah, we're gonna go golf all day. Well, whatever. I don't want to be buried. I want people to know who I am when I'm going up to Vancouver and shit like that. I don't know. Like, Winnipeg is not. It's not the sexiest.
They're
place
still on Sports Center every night.
Every fucking night. You could walk anywhere.
Sports Center with an E.
Sports Center.
That's what you probably thought it was called.
Kind of.
Sports Centre.
Well, that's what it looks like.
So, did you have a good Easter yesterday? Like, what do you do for Easter? Did you have a hunt?
It was I hit all the eggs and, for the kiddos that came over. I went up to country club, had a nice brunch.
Who paid for that?
I got my fucking me.
No, there was like you had like 10 relatives there.
It's on my fucking tab.
And so you paid for everybody to have like what brunch cost?
Oh, I don't know.
$60.
I don't even look at that shit.
Did you have some mimosas?
Oh, fuck. It's so nice just to be able to, like, stumble back to your house and shit. But they always do it right, man. Like, it does cost a lot of money to be a member there, but it's worth it, dude. Even the food itself is worth it. It really is. So we went up there and chilled out, man. It's my birthday weekend. I got a lemon tree from Kate.
A lemon tree?
Yeah, it's kind of cute.
That's kind of cool.
I know.
I think I may actually have a lemon tree.
Why do you always one up my fucking stories?
Well, it's coming out of the ground right now. I'm not exactly sure what it is.
It's really cool.
So is this thing going to grow lemons or what?
No, it's going to grow oranges.
Well, I don't know if the climate was good enough to grow lemons.
Yeah, like, is there any trees? Like, I mean, we're not.
So what do you mean she got you a lemon tree?
She got me a lemon tree.
Like, how big is it?
It's pretty big.
Or is it like come in a little packet that has lemon tree seeds?
It's not that big. It's like your size. But you just plant it, whatever you want to put it. I could put it on my deck.
Where are you going to put it?
I guess a couple areas.
You put it in a pot or you put it in the ground?
You put it in the ground.
You have to water it?
No, it's the one tree that you don't have to water. Like, what's wrong with you?
Hey,
you got to fucking water it.
This is great. Right. This is great. Oh, I can't wait to see the evolution of this tree.
I know. Lemons are my favorite
You know what
fruit.
they say when life gives you lemons?
You eat them.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Yeah. Or if you are a lemon, you're kind of a dipshit.
Well, that's true. That's true.
If anybody calls you a lemon, it ain't a compliment, homie.
No.
Or your car's a lemon.
Your car's a lemon.
Yeah,
I know.
You take it back.
Well, you're going to have some lemons in your backyard.
I know.
That's very exciting.
I went to the Blues game for the first time in 2 years. And no one really believed me that I haven't been there in 2 years, but I haven't been there in 2 years.
Cam, I ran into you, and like you're like, It's like you were at a museum and you're taking a tour. We're like, oh, I haven't been here in 2 years. I want to go check this out. I want to check that out. He's just walking around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I do. I walk around and say hey to the people because they want to see me.
Did you see some people?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Goddamn right. And then we cruise around. You know, I went to the alumni box, said hey, talked to the media, all that kind of jazz. Then the fucking media, they get stuck in the freight elevator at Enterprise Center for 2 hours after the game.
An hour and 47 minutes.
I would have lost my motherfuck mind.
Dude, I know you would have.
I would have lost it, Andy, and it would have been bad.
What if you didn't have like any chew with you?
Or I had to piss because I've been crushing booze.
If
Are you kidding?
Well, you didn't have any.
Andy,
you'd be like,
those freight elevators fucking suck.
Yeah.
Like, fix those goddamn things up there. The rink looks awesome. I love Enterprise Center, man. They did a great job on it. But, like, even the upstairs where the media shit is, where, like, Army and all them are, like, they all have to share the same bathroom and shit up there. Imagine you're Army, and you got to go piss next to JR, Jeremy Rutherford, the beat writer. Like, it's just like, I don't know. And we love him. But if I'm Army, I'm like, I want my own goddamn bathroom, like Lou has. Fucking Lou, with the Devils, had his own box bathroom, and he tents out the fucking window so you can't even see inside that damn thing. Like, that's what I would want, man. Mm-hmm. But they're, like, taking a piss next to each other. It's just so weird up there. Then they get stuck in a goddamn freight for 2 hours.
I always wondered why general managers around the league are always up in the press box level anyway.
I don't get that.
I'd want to be on the same level as, like, the owner and be in, like, a luxury box and have my staff in there with me. Remember back in the day, the Montreal Canadiens management, they'd sit, like, behind the bench?
Yeah,
like when
Patrick
Patty Waugh came
and
off the ice.
Stared at everybody.
So if I was the GM of an NHL team, Cam, I would sit right behind the bench. I'd just sit back there.
Yeah, you'd look goofy doing
or
that.
No, but, listen, I'd have a suite, though. I don't know about sitting all the way up top. I never understand why all those guys do
I don't even sit
that.
in the stands now. Like, I'm not sitting in the stands if I'm a fucking GM. If you're Army, you're not doing that. But I would have a tinted window. I wouldn't want to be around anybody.
Tinted window?
Like,
what do you think? You would be watching it from an SUV?
No, like you. There's no window in front of you, but on the side, so the box is next to you can't see what you're doing, what you're writing down.
Oh, yeah.
They can't hear your conversation. Mm-hmm. That's what you do.
Yeah.
Now, meanwhile, he's up there walking around everybody. He's trying to put his head down and avoid everybody. Like, I don't know. I don't give a fuck that much, but it's just.
Well, apparently you do. I think this is starting to really bother you a little bit.
No, I don't care. I'm not up there.
So what else? Do I do? What else caught your attention about the game? Did you have anything else?
I didn't watch a second of it because I'm walking around and shit. And
that goes against to what we were saying about the baseball, man. Where like you go to a baseball game, nobody watches, but everybody watches the hockey game.
Because I was cruising around talking to you. But I will say this: like, I haven't been there in a couple years, and I am privileged when I go down there. Walk in the side, you could do what you want. You know the people, this, that, and the other. If I want to go have a dart with my buddy Mikey, who has a nice box that they know they spend so much money. So I remember cruising around and PJ Ellis, who works for the alumni, is a great guy. He took over for Beth. And so like he's just kind of warned me about things that kind of changed. Like you can't walk through different things. Like you don't want to get embarrassed because maybe a couple other guys got embarrassed thinking they could walk through something as an alumni. And the lady didn't know who they were. And it kind of made a scene. And I'm like, I do not want that anywhere I go. If anybody doesn't let me in somewhere, I'm like turning around and leaving no matter what. But there's a couple times I went outside to smoke with my buddy.
What are you smoking, the cigarettes?
Yeah, I was just, I was drinking. I was like, let me go hit a
That
dart.
sounds like a perfect time to get into a Lucy live read.
It is. Well, I had Lucy in too. But I was like, he's like, you want to go smoke? And I go, I'll go.
When you go to the game.
I do, dude. I do. I absolutely do. But I went back and I came back in. The guy saw me. I'm talking to people, signing, like taking pictures. I walk through, smoke, come back, and everybody walks in front, right before me, and nothing. He stops me, and I'm like, he's fucking with me. I'm like, okay. And he goes, go back in there, sir. I'm like, okay. I go back in, and I come back out. I'm like, we good? He's like, nope. Go back in there. Let me look. And I'll take out everything in your pocket. And I'm like, oh no. Like, what's in my fucking pocket, right? I'm like, I'm like, okay. And everybody's watching. Now other people are like talking. He has me go back through again. There's something. I'm like,
what are you going through? Like a metal detector?
Yes. I'm like, what do we do? Something beeping. Like he kind of put me on the spot. And I'm such a princess now where I'm like, oh my God. It kind of ruined my fucking night a little bit. In front of everybody, I'm just like, I know it's petty.
Well, it's not like
but I'm a princess, and I admit that.
You're not Patrick Ewing at MSG.
How about him getting fucked? And he's like, what the fuck am I doing here? But that sucks.
His jersey's hanging
from the rafters and shit. And I know. So, like, just little things like that. But, again, it's not that fucking big of a deal. I had a good time. I just don't like confrontation with anything.
What, did you have confrontation?
Well, I was kind of getting pissed.
Well,
okay, Andy. I'm like everybody's waiting for me. Fans are like, Cam,
needed to be with me, dude.
I know. I'm like, can I? Like, do you want me to take my underwear off for you, sir? And the guy was like 40 years old too. It wasn't like some old lady that didn't know. There's a 40-year-old guy.
You know,
and he's kind of smirking.
He's doing his job.
Oh,
dude.
fuck!
He's just doing his job. Well, maybe he just didn't know who you were, dude. I mean, that's a possibility.
I'm literally taking pictures. He knew exactly who it was. He's just kind of being a dick. That's all good.
Which entrance are we talking about?
I don't even know. One of the just cigarette entrants that you just go out there and dart it up.
There you go. That's what you get for going out and smoking.
I know. And then I had a headache afterwards. And I was like, fuck. I get so rattled easily these days, man.
I had a great time at the game. I actually took my daughter with me, man. We had a blast, dude.
Good, man.
And sat down low. We kind of moved around a little bit. Dude, yesterday I got some new cigars. Actually, this guy texted me. He said, "Hey, are you going to be at the game?" True story. And I said, "Yeah, I'll be at the game." He said, "I'd like to meet up with you. I have something for you." And he hooks me up with like all these like Cohiba cigars, dude.
Are those good?
They're really good. I had to look them up, whatever. I got the blue dot, got the red dot. But, dude, it gave me the worst headache. My head was spinning yesterday.
Motherfucker.
I had a Bloody Mary in the morning, celebrating Easter in style.
Lord.
And I had the fire going because it was supposed to, start raining in the afternoon. My head is just like spinning like crazy, dude. I had to go lay down.
And your fucking breath, everything smells like cigar. I don't like cigars, man. I don't like darts either, but sometimes when I'm drinking, I'll smoke a dart here and there. But if I smoke a cigar, sometimes I can't help but inhale, and that's not good. But if I'm going to smoke something, like I want to inhale it and taste it, and then I'll do that once in a while, and I'm like, oh, God, what am I doing? That shit fucks me up more than anything. I could party for fucking 4 days straight, but if I smoke a cigar the night before, I'm hurting in the morning. It's very bizarre. I don't like it. Yeah. Not to mention, your hands are too small to hold a big cigar.
Well,
you need a fucking You need a Virginia Slim.
You said that last time.
I'll say it again. Your hands are too small holding a big cigar. But
I love cigars. It's very enjoyable for me. It's very relaxing. It just so happens.
You're not Arnold.
Does he smoke cigars?
Yeah, in his Hummer.
I love cigars. I will say it's become like a new passion of mine. It started during the pandemic. I always liked a cigar anyway, but I started buying them. Got a humidor. I got one of those during the pandemic and started collecting cigars.
If I'm gonna, I've made a decision. If I'm gonna smoke something, I need to like feel it. Yeah, well, I need to get my mind right.
That's you. I mean,
that's just it's me.
Dude, you do feel it. I mean, that's the thing
about what I'm
trying to tell you.
I want to feel cool and listen to music and kick my feet up. I don't want to feel like
that's what you do, dude. You get the mute. You're outside. The fire's going. The tunes are going, and you're just. It's very relaxing.
You're not getting high or anything from it. It's just like you're just like clogging your mouth full of smoke, and you just stink like shit all night, and your bed sheets smell when you sleep. Yeah, they do. Really? Smell your bed the next day and see what's up.
I don't know, man.
What do you mean you don't know?
I don't know if that happens.
Well, it should happen.
I got someone reached out, true story, and asked me if I'd be interested in starting my own cooking book, Cam.
Yeah, I bet.
Like a grilling book, dude. And they're like, because I had offered to pass along my recipe to my stuffed peppers. And
no meat stuffed peppers. Oh, that sounds so enjoyable.
I can't tell you how many people I passed that recipe along to. They were like, "What's the recipe?" Because they did look very good.
Yeah.
So a company out of Sonoma, California, reaches out and are asking me if I'm interested in doing a cookbook, dude.
Well, they're
a
fucking
grilling
dumb.
Cookbook.
They're fucking dumb.
So we're in negotiations right now about making that happen.
That's stupid. You don't. Everything's very simplistic with your cooking. Like you act like you're making like fucking crazy ass shit, but you're really not. You made a pepper and you put rice in it and you put some more veggies on top of the veggie, veggie. And it's like, oh, cool. Then you post it and I'm like, and you want me to say something like that looks fucking terrible. I have to be a dick. And your poor wife's on there like saying something too. So now
she loved it.
Now I feel like an asshole for your life. But fuck you. Don't make me fucking chirp you. Don't make me do it because I can't help myself.
So no, I was cooking all weekend though too, man. I actually enjoy cooking. Like it's very relaxing for me to do that as well. So the cookbook, I'll keep you updated what's going on with that, and people can buy that. Yesterday, listen, this is a sign that I'm a real chef, man. Look at that burn that I got on my hand. You see that right here? Dude, that's pretty nasty.
From what, dude?
I was making eggs and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah, that's tough. Yeah. That's a tough one. Maybe he's making eggs. Bragging about making fucking eggs.
And burn my hand on that one.
God, I ate so goddamn much this weekend, man. I'm going to Cabo next week. I haven't been on vacation in a while. I haven't taken my shirt off in 3 fucking years outside. Like, seriously. I haven't done anything in 3 years. Like, and so I'm like, I'm trying to lose a little weight. I know there's, I want to feel comfortable. I tried on my swimming trunks that I've had for a couple.
God.
Oh, fucking my my thingies hanging out. I look so overweight. They're sticking to my gut. It's just really uncomfortable. So I tried to like starve myself for a little bit, but then Easter came around and that brunch, and I got my mind right before I went up there. I ate so goddamn much, dude, all weekend long. I had a food coma this morning. Then I forgot my fucking wallet this morning.
Oh, so you couldn't go to the gas station?
Couldn't go to the gas station. Had to borrow money from Charlie, like an asshole.
Oh my
God damn it!
I can't believe that. You got to borrow money.
I got to borrow money. Like,
what did you need at the gas station? Dude?
Well, first off, I had no food. I wanted to get my paper. I wanted to get all my food. I wanted to get organized for my 7:00 show, and so I forget my goddamn wallet. And I'm like, oh fuck! I call Kate, poor girl. I call her. So she ordered Panera Bread, which is like a fat. It's kind of healthy, whatever. But it delivered, and so I got to eat. Because if you don't eat and you do a 3-hour radio show, and then we come right here. Like, I'm in a pissy-ass mood.
I don't eat until after 12 noon every day anyway.
Yeah, I know. Look at you.
I mean, I don't eat after 8 p.m. or before 12 noon.
I don't eat late.
And it's a very easy lifestyle.
Oh, really?
Yeah, very easy.
Yeah, I bet.
I mean, you can still, like, you're allowed to, like, have, you can consume beverages and whatever after 8 p.m. I mean, like, I don't think you're supposed to all the time, but it's like, I don't go that crazy. Would you ever want to be a lawyer? See, back when I was covering the Mike Danton case,
yeah,
when he tried to, allegedly tried to kill his agent. See, this is what happens. Like, these guys, they plea, like, when you plea, it's like, you know what you're being accused of, and you're basically saying that the prosecution has too much evidence for you to win the case, but you're not admitting guilt, right?
Yeah, it's very bizarre.
Okay, so they're like saying, well, this isn't what happened, but there's no way I can win the case, so I'll go ahead and plead guilty.
Yeah.
And
he did, and he sucked it up.
I used to think back then, man, I was in court every single day, every day, and going to the courthouse on the days where they weren't in session, looking up files and seeing what was being filed and whatever, and it was the most interesting thing I had ever been a part of. I was like in my mid-20s, breaking all these stories, Cam. Like I'm being featured on like a show called like the Fifth Estate up in Canada. It's like their version of like 60 Minutes and whatever. And all these like veteran reporters all over, Canada and the U.S. are coming to St. Louis to cover this case. It was just a crazy, crazy case. Jailhouse interviews, all of that. And I thought I was going to go to law school, dude. Right after that, I'm watching these lawyers, man. I could be a lawyer.
Probably could,
but I just didn't. Putting in the time for all that, man. You got to go to school and all that
it's a lot.
It's a commitment.
It's a lot, but you can learn doing that. You learned a lot, man.
Did you know Danton at all? Because he was in Jersey.
Yeah, we had a meeting with Lou. So my first year, they I don't know if it was before the Kool-Aid thing or not, but they called us both up to the office and said, we don't want you guys fighting each other. Mm-hmm. I just remember that. And I'm like, who is this guy?
You didn't know him from junior or anything?
Nah.
He was a little older than you.
Yeah, no, I didn't know.
He was a big name in junior, dude, just because he was loud.
Yeah.
And they had all the stuff going on with he and Sheldon Keefe and all these other guys.
Maybe I got confused because his name fucking changed.
No, you knew a bunch of guys that he was a part of.
Really?
Erskine was
Maybe
kind of
I
a
did
part
know.
of that. You knew Erskine.
But I remember being like, I can't fight. I just got done fighting like Rob Skurlak twice. I can't fight this motherfucker.
So why didn't he want you guys to fight?
I don't know. I have no idea.
And so were you guys like, okay, no problem,
whatever? I don't even remember playing against him or anything. I don't know. I think he got sent
he got suspended.
He got suspended right away because I'm not drinking loose Kool-Aid.
Right.
Wow. You know what that's from? The Kool-Aid thing. You don't remember that cult?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the
in
acid,
Africa,
the acid, Kool-Aid acid test.
Iodine. They put iodine in all these kids' stuff, the Kool-Aid, and they drank it, and they all died. 800 of them. And I believe it was in Africa where they had to go down there with that cult. I forgot the guy's name.
You're familiar with like the Kool-Aid acid test for like back in the day too, like back in the 60s and whatever. They used to do that like in San Francisco and whatever.
Excuse me?
I don't know. That's what I thought you were talking about.
I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, that's what I thought you were talking about.
No. I'm talking about the cult that killed all the kids.
I'm at the draft 2003.
Jones, I believe his name.
One of the greatest drafts in NHL history. We all know that. Marc-Andre Fleury went first overall.
Yeah.
And I remember reporting live that the Blues had traded for Mike Danton, and I didn't know who he was, yet I had heard like that he kind of had these issues with the the New Jersey Devils and whatever. Like, and no one had really issues with. I mean, they had issues with Lou, but nothing like that where they're calling him out and stuff like that's like unheard of.
That's a no-no right there, man. You're gonna get buried.
So they were like, "Do you think he'll fight in training camp?" I go, "He may fight Joel Quenneville for all we know." It sounds a little crazy, but I got to know Mike real quick. I will summarize it like this, and I thought he was a great guy, man. I really did. People liked him inside the room. It was almost like, and he was a productive, effective player for the Blues.
Yeah, he scored a couple goals and
he
fought.
Did. It was almost like for the first time he was trying to experience like freedom in his life. Like, I've worked so hard to become an NHL player, and like he just had all these other issues that were surrounding him that he just couldn't break the chains and experience that freedom that everybody else around him was dealing with. Like, he's seeing everybody kind of doing what they want and just enjoying life and, like, living the dream playing in the NHL.
But what was he like?
And he couldn't do that.
But why?
Because of the control that, in my opinion, that David Frost had over him. Like, David Frost had the control for Mike Danton to be able to say what he said, to do what he did. Like, I mean, he had to check in with them all the time. There's stories about them, communicating between periods in the bathroom stall.
Oh, my fucking God.
Hand signals from the crowd. He lived with them when he was a teenager.
Yeah, but doesn't everybody look at him and say, what are you doing with this weirdo fuck?
Most people would. Most people would.
What are you doing with him? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Oh, I think a lot of people had red flags, dude. There were red flags everywhere. People were coming up to him all the time. But, sometimes you get that, it gets to a point, man, where it's tough to, like, separate.
Well, just remember, like,
people.
Nobody owns you.
And
nobody does.
The reality is, it got to a point that was probably the only way that he could go on and live his life and separate himself from David Frost was to, like, hire somebody to go, like, kill him.
I remember that motherfucker.
In his apartment.
We still have his card. He came up to my dad in Toronto one time.
David Frost?
Yep. When I was playing AAA.
He would have owned you.
Yeah, sure. Just like who does?
He would have
does?
had you living with him.
Yeah. My dad and mom would have let that happen.
Like, Frosty, what are we doing today?
You got to text me when you're going to the bathroom in between periods. Like, what? What, you fucking weirdo? No.
Oh, that wouldn't happen?
Well, no. I wasn't. I was pretty, like, even
I
my
know,
parents
man.
didn't even have control over me at that point.
I know.
Yeah.
Oh, we can go on and on and on. I'm trying to get Mike to come on with us, man, just to not only talk about that, like, this guy was a good player. Kind of want to know what he's doing now. Like, he went away for like 7 years, and he comes back and he ends up playing like university hockey. I think he went over to England too.
I think he saved somebody's life. They were choking on something, and he helped them somehow.
Have you ever done that? You ever saved somebody's life?
Yeah, I have.
Have you?
I've told this story before, and I'll say it again.
Oh, you did with the drowning.
Yep.
But I'm talking like more like a Heimlich.
Well, is that not good enough for you?
No, the drowning.
The Heimlich? No, I don't even know how to do that.
Like, if I was choking right now, like would you know what to do?
I mean, I'd probably.
Dude, you got to learn that. If you're going to come in here, like, you never know when something could go down.
What the fuck are you going to do for me? Don't worry about you. Worry about me. No, like, you can't even get your arms around me, dude. I'm 240 right now. Shit. You'd be like, I'm like, no, I'm still choking.
Please help me.
I'm still choking. You'd be looking at your phone, talking to fucking some agent in Canada while I'm dying here. But no, I think he learned something in the joint, and he came out and he saved some dude's life.
Yeah. And he's married. He's got kids, man. He's doing his thing.
Yeah,
so
that's kind of cool.
We're going to try to get Mike on one of these days.
Get him,
man.
then.
I still communicate with him. He's like a diehard Cardinal fan. Like, he's a good dude. And you know what? He got caught up in some crazy shit, Cam. And you know that can happen.
Yeah, no doubt, man. I get that.
All right, some NHL stuff we'll get to. First off, the Blues are on fire, man. They just continue to win.
They're good, dude.
And we will start with that because, Vladimir Tarasenko, a guy who got a lot of attention during the offseason, most of it wasn't very positive. And for him all of a sudden to get healthy and commit himself to getting in shape prior to the season and coming in the condition that he did and having the season that he's having a career season, dude.
He is. And he's with his fellow Russian players, man. Anytime you're in a locker room and you got 4 or 5 Russians, they all kind of sit by each other. They speak the language. Mm-hmm. And they're the one kind of group that you kind of don't say, hey, fucking speak English. Like, just do your thing. You guys are communicating together.
Like, if it's Swedes and
it's like, fucking speak up. Like, because usually they're kind of but when Russians are in the locker room together, it's nothing. It's not lollipop shit. It's like, get this fucking thing and do blah, 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 blah. So if they're doing that, you're like, let them go. They're firing each other up. Mm-hmm. So Bucci, Barbie, who am I missing? Toropchenko, guys like that. They're all probably just hanging in the locker room. And now it's a competitive. Yeah. It's like a different kind of game for them, man. They want to compete with each other and stuff like that. So it's a great mix, man. And Buchnevich, man, if you're playing online with him, he's getting you the puck.
By the way,
he is such a good passer.
I just hooked him up with a Traeger last Friday. So now he's on the Traeger team.
He'll actually take advantage of it.
And so he's actually learning how to use the Traeger. But true story, I hooked him up. He got the Traeger last Friday. So we'll get an update from him very, very soon on how he's enjoying his Traeger. But the last name, by the way, it's Buchnevich.
I don't give a fuck.
I mean, it's Buchnevich.
Whatever.
You can say Buchnevich too. It's just either way. But
I don't care.
It's just there's like
I'm not calling a game.
It's like Buchnevich. Say it for me.
Nevich.
Good. Okay. So yeah, Tarasenko, dude. And now he's scoring goals like in the vintage Tarasenko way. He's got an arsenal of different ways he can score, which earlier in the year he's kind of scoring similar goals, whatever. And in the past, he was that ultimate, like, who could play the power game. He could beat you to his left. He could beat you to his right. He could beat you from distance. He scored goals in tight. He beat you one-on-one.
Yeah, like, he's beating in every way possible.
He's doing it now. He's scoring goals all different ways. And the one stat that I just have a hard time getting into that everyone, like, continues to talk about is like shooting percentage. I'm just what is it? That's like he's not a basketball player.
Yeah, exactly.
His 3-point. Listen, the shooting percentage is going to be high when these guys are just like making the goalie has no chance. These like backdoor plays, dude. He's just sliding it into an open net on a couple of these goals. He and Buchnevich have incredible chemistry. Robert Thomas obviously is a huge part of it as well. But I will say, people ask me all the time, they say, what's the biggest difference with Tarasenko this year? And obviously, number one is health, but number two is the addition of Pavlovich Nievich. Because they didn't know each other, but Nievich will kind of get in his grill a little bit. I think he's taking some of that pressure off of Tarasenko, where, hey, you don't got to get pissed off and get mad and battle. I'll fight your battles for you. And he does a lot of that, And
no one picks on Vladdy, dude.
No.
Ask our boy Trent Frederick the other day going after Vladdy like that. That was a mistake. Not that Vladdy's going to beat you up, but he'll bury his shoulder into you and put you on your fucking ass, and he's going to go score a goal.
Well, he'll do that, but Trent, he also knows, and I love Trent, man.
So do I.
So I am not about to chirp Trent Frederick, man. He's trying to find his way in the NHL right now.
He's doing fine,
but he knows that's not a battle for him to be trying.
Let me break it down for you. So,
let me just, and I want to get your take on this. Like Tarasenko, you're not going to get him off his game.
No.
Like, this guy's been around for 600 games. He's a superstar player. He's been around, like I said. He's not going to fight you. He's not going to slash you back. He's not going to get in your face. He's not even going to do what Ovechkin did, which is like, cup check you and like, put a stick between your legs and you're going down and you're going to be in some pain. Like, he's not even doing that. But you want to run around and all of a sudden try to get him off his game during the course of play, he will put you on your ass.
And he did. He's 235, man. Like, he's a big guy. He doesn't get bullied, man. You can't break him like that. No. You can't break a lot of those Russians like that. And I look at like they were kind of going back and forth the other day. And, I think Trent was already -1. And then they kind of battled. And Vladdy's just trying to ignore him. After a whistle, Trent comes up to him to try to hit him after whistle, which is dumb. You should never take
after them battling at the face-off.
Yeah. And so Vladdy buried him and said, "Get up." And it just looked bad. And then Trent gets a goddamn roughing penalty, which you just never fucking
and they scored on it.
And they scored on it. And they scored again. Mm-hmm. And then Trent didn't play the rest of the game.
He didn't play the next game either. He had 2 shifts after that. He had 2 shifts in the third period. Got benched the next game, comes back in the lineup and scores
a goal. That's what happens, and that's why
what he had to do.
That's what
I'm saying.
Just learn from that. Mm-hmm. If I would have got a penalty, and they would have scored, and I tried to rough a guy up,
that probably happened, right?
Yeah, but I didn't take penalties, man.
Yeah,
I didn't.
Well, Ray Bennett told me it happened to you.
Well,
Ben Eager. We had to talk about that story.
But you don't need to go after guys like that. Like, you need them to worry about you because you're doing things. Mm-hmm. But if you're chasing Vladdy around, like, he's just going to lose you and he's going to get the puck and you're going to be out of position. Like, once you focus on one person like that, like we did with Ovechkin, like, they're going to own you.
Yeah.
Just go play and hit and then let them get pissed at you because you catch them with their head down or you hit somebody else over there and they're forced to do something. That's how you get into it. Don't just single out Ovi and Vladdy. They're going to fucking own you. Just go play. Yeah. And if their head's down, get them.
And you know what? Like, Matthew Tkachuk did that a lot when he first came into the league, right? He'd chase around Drew Doughty. He'd catch him with his head down and absolutely bury him. He'd catch Cassian. He would just create absolute melee. But you look at his season this year, like, he's toned that shit down. Like, he doesn't have to do that anymore. Everyone knows kind of what he's capable of being and who he is.
He's established now.
He's established. And now, I don't think he has a fighting major all season long. I don't think he has one major.
I don't think they want him fighting. He's not very good at it. And remember that whole case with Cassian, too. He buries Cassian, Cass comes right back at him and fucks him up. And remember Matthew kind of just, like, gets ragdolled? And I was so pissed at him for that because he just let Cassian kick his ass. And I'm like, don't ever do that again because he's going to catch you. Why eat a punch if you don't have to? Grab him, throw him down. You're stronger than shit. He ain't going to hurt you. Tie his left hand up. He's a lefty. Don't let him piss pump you in front of everybody because you're going to try to draw a penalty. That's how you get your fucking orbital bone cracked. Don't do that. Never, ever take an ass kicking. Ever like that. Just to prove a point like you don't care. That's so dumb.
Like Troy Terry.
Like fucking Troy Terry, like, beat me up. No, stick up for your fucking self. You don't have to go toe-to-toe, but don't you ever get punched. Don't take a fucking hit, man. Yeah. It sets you back.
Yeah. Well, Tarasenko, like I said, man, he's going to end up with, probably over 80 points and could get to 35, 36, 37 goals. Who knows what his total is going to be. So congrats to him. And I will say this, man. I said this on Twitter, got a lot of reaction, whatever. He has told the coaching staff, I know for a fact, like in meetings, like they will ask, like, do you want to be here? Or however it comes up. I don't know how exactly it comes up in the conversation.
Yeah,
but he's told the coaches, I want to be in St. Louis. So,
why wouldn't you?
And people need to stop with this idea that like Seattle is like kicking themselves because they don't have Tarasenko. Like he wouldn't go into Seattle.
No, dude, he hadn't played in 2 years.
He had a no trade and wasn't going to go and play in Seattle for an expansion.
He hasn't played in 2 years.
Right.
He was fucking compromised, and he had to prove to the fucking hockey world that he could be back.
Yeah.
And a lot of people didn't believe him, and rightfully so, because you can't have 3 surgeries in one goddamn.
And sometimes the best trades are the ones that you don't make.
Yeah, no doubt. Dude.
And finding players like him are difficult. Not just guys that can put the puck in the net, Cam, but guys that have incredible chemistry with the other two players that they play with.
Yeah, no doubt.
Like
dude.
this Thomas Buchnevich line. I mean, this is a line that can play together the next 2, 3, 4 years and have a ton of success.
Remember people were like, trade Vladdy. Like, what? Trade Vladdy?
Yeah.
To fucking who? He hasn't played in 2 years. You're going to have to hold half his salary. Why would you trade him?
Right.
They both don't have any leverage.
Can I just say this, though? Yeah. I bet you a lot of general managers would not have done what Doug Armstrong did. Would you say, you know what? Fuck, I'm not trading them.
Well, I bet you they would. Oh, because there's no other option.
Yeah, but there's some that would maybe say, oh, we'll eat half the salary.
Then you're
we
dumb.
just want to clear that.
Then you're dumb.
Well,
I said it.
There you go.
You're dumb. Why would you do that?
So for him to handle it the way that he did, with all this pressure, like people talking about it nonstop, and it's like, I'll say this too, because Vladdy, his reputation was kind of dragged around a little bit too, maybe a little bit unfairly. I don't know.
No, it was.
But it was kind of dragged around too. So he's done everything this year, from rehabilitate his game on the ice to rehabilitate his reputation off the ice as a teammate. Everything,
dude. And you know what? Like, I just don't ever blame. The doctors. They say you pick that doctor out. Like that's it's all.
You're right.
You can't call them out. Ray Burley's like, what the fuck? Like, and you're like, well, you didn't call Ray. Well, Ray's in that category, okay? Like, you think of like the medical team, you think of Ray Burley. Like, I'm sorry, I know the doctors, but you think of Ray.
Hey, I learned that at a young age. Eric Boganicki, remember him?
Yeah, I do.
And he came to me and said he was suing the Blues medical staff for a shoulder injury. I'll never forget. I can see it to this day. Just jumping the boards back in training camp. That's all they did was have scrimmages, right? And so he's jumping off the boards. The guys coming off the ice, and they collide. And he goes down, hurts his shoulder. Was never the same player again. Had surgery a couple times, whatever. But he came to me and he said, "Hey, I'm suing the Blues medical staff." I'm like, "Okay." So I wrote it that he's suing the Blues medical staff, God. And I didn't think that the trainers were a part of that. I'm like, oh, no, those are the doctors. It's not the trainers. But no, they're all under one roof, man. And you learn that at a very young age. But it's like,
because people are giving me, because I remember talking about that with you and on the radio and whatnot. I go, you got to go talk to Ray Borelli. And you're like, Ray, that's nothing to do with that. I go, what do you mean?
Who said that?
Just people, just people, right?
Yeah.
They're the same people that wanted Doug to trade Vladdy.
No, they're all under the same house.
They're all under the same house. Now, and then people also were like, he's not going to be able to walk back in that locker room and show his face. I go, what? I go, these guys don't give a fuck. No. They don't care. Like, at the beginning, they're probably like, okay, Vladdy, you better fucking bring the heat. Vladdy comes in and brings the heat. No one gives a fuck.
Not to mention, he's been one of the biggest personalities in that room forever. He's a cup winner.
He's the OG.
He's an OG.
Get out of here.
What's going to happen? He knows all those guys.
Look at how many 91 jerseys are cruising around still. Oh, yeah. Watch Vladdy when you go see when Ty's skating and Vladdy's kids are skating together. Oh, yeah. Go see how he is with people and stuff like that.
Yeah. No, you know what, though? I see him at the rink.
Sweetheart, dude.
And, well, he does a pretty good job right now of just kind of staying undercover, which he should, man.
He should, dude. This is like, but he'll talk to people and stuff like that. Like, he's part of
Kyle Clifford used to come and just, like, kind of be in the mix. He's having beers with parents and stuff like that, which is fine. It's like, hey, exactly. But he's not getting, like, hounded.
Kyle Clifford's Kyle Clifford, and Vladdy's Vladdy.
That's what I'm saying. He's not getting hounded by...
You're more popular than Kyle Clifford, believe it or not.
He's not getting hounded by... by the fans the way Tarasenko would.
Yeah.
Tarasenko just wants to be there, watch his kid. I've seen David Perron at the rink too. These guys just want to watch their kids. Bozak.
But
seen
the
all those
fans
guys,
are pretty damn good to those guys too.
Unbelievable.
They're fucking great.
They're unbelievable.
No, the Blues fans are classy and cool, man. They truly are. I've done shit with them. I've traveled with them. Mm-hmm. I've been to different rinks where other fucking fan bases are crazy, and the Blues fans are just like, no, we're good. Like I like that, man. They're respectful. If you fuck up and you come back, if you have a weird contract dispute and you leave and everybody hates you and you come back, they're going to give you a standing ovation. Yeah. Like they're not Philly.
No.
Not the Philly fans and shit. Like, like Philadelphia's hardcore. Don't get me wrong. Toronto's probably hardcore. Stuff like that. But Blues fans, dude, they respect you, man. They really do. That's why people are like, you don't want to play for the Blues? You don't want to play in St. Louis? Are you fucking crazy?
It's a different experience.
Dude, it's so nice here.
From a lot of those other cities. And whatever,
it's so nice here. Now, downtown's a hard fucking core. Okay, we all get that. You ain't going downtown. You're down there and you get the fuck out. And you live in Lovelyville out in the suburbs.
You talk to Justin Falk, Brandon Saad, like Ryan O'Reilly, these guys who have come to St. Louis
Mansions
who never saw anything.
Yeah.
Outside of downtown.
Yeah.
Brad Boyes told me that years ago. He's like, dude, you come in here. He's like, I thought St. Louis was a shithole. Then you see all these neighborhoods that are like popping up everywhere. Yeah, so they all like it. That's why so many guys stay here. But getting back to Calgary real quick, man. Listen, Brad Treliving, like I got a ton of respect for him. I really do, man. I think he's a really underrated, underappreciated general manager in the league there in Calgary. Like this guy's really good. Really good. But he's got a big time challenge on his hand coming up.
With Gucci?
Well, with Johnny Gaudreau. With Matthew Tkachuk, even Maji Ampani, like, I mean,
because he's good too.
He's good too. And I think, listen, I don't get the sense, this is just my opinion here, that there's enough money for Tkachuk and Gaudreau. You're going to have to choose one or the other.
10 and 10. From
what I understand, Gaudreau is not, he doesn't have strong interest in staying in Calgary. I'm not going to sit here and say that he won't stay in Calgary. Obviously, the Flames have the inside track. They can start negotiating with him sooner. They can offer him that 8th season.
What's he want compared to?
Well,
what do you? Okay,
let me throw it out to you.
You're paying Matthew more though. I would pay Matthew more money.
Okay,
100,000%. Go ahead. What's
even though Gaudreau, he's going to be a Hart Trophy finalist this year or whatever. He's having a career season.
Matthew's Matthew though.
Matthew's Matthew, dude. Matthew
can't replicate Matthew.
But they're really good together though, Cam.
I know.
You know what I'm saying?
I know. But if you're going to pay somebody more money, it's got to be Matthew, in my opinion.
Okay, so you look at some of the contracts that are out there, like excluding the McDavids and the Dreisaitl's.
Yeah, he ain't there.
And Austin Matthews.
Not there.
Even Mitch Marner, man, who I have really come to appreciate again. I want to see him do it in the playoffs.
Yeah, Andy, hold your horses.
Hold on. Cam, this guy,
I know what he does.
Look at his point total.
I know.
And so I know he doesn't do shit in the playoffs.
Well, that's a problem.
But the reality is Gaudreau hasn't done much in the playoffs either.
Well, that's a problem too.
I want to say Gaudreau's got like 19 points in 30 career playoff games. He's on a contending team, a team that has high expectations this year. Gaudreau's got to show up in the postseason.
100,000%, dude. But Toronto's been in the situation for like 5 years straight, and so it's like it's been the same guy.
And
Groundhog Day.
Marner really hadn't done shit in the postseason, right?
Dude, no, he's getting smothered,
smothered. It's like Nylander's their best player.
Smothered.
In the so,
but Tim Peel said that they don't let the whistles go in the playoffs.
Oh yeah, he did.
We love you, Peelsy. They do.
He
Peelsy, get out
he
of
said,
here.
guys, they average 5.4 penalties in the regular season and 5.4.
I don't give a fuck.
Okay, so, but all I'm saying is, you look at how much time Marner has missed this season, and he still may get 100 points, dude. It's pretty impressive.
No, they're loaded. They're loaded.
Well, he's just good. He's fun to watch.
Go do it then, and I'm still the same with him until you go do it. But he will do it.
So the challenge is going to be with Gaudreau. Are you going to be able to keep him in Calgary? Does he want to stay and remain a Calgary Flame?
I don't know.
It's not about the money. It's always about the money, but they know what they're gonna have to pay him. I mean, it's gonna be somewhere in that $10 million range. I mean. You look at some of the other contracts around the league. Mark Stone at 9.5. You got Kucherov, I think, at 9.5. Panarin's north of 10 or north of 11.
11, homie.
North of 11. Braden Point 9.5.
Well, he's very underrated.
Did I say Mark Stone 9.5?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah. So you got all Jamie Benn's at 9 point. He's gonna have to be
Jamie Benn.
I know he's gonna have to be.
Not this year.
Most likely, he hits the market. He's a $10 million player, Kim.
Yeah. I agree.
I mean, Jack Eichel's making $10 million, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. Yes, he is. And you know what? Here's the biggest thing for me with Calgary. You know who the most entertaining person in the whole organization is in Calgary? Who?
Daryl Sutter?
Yeah, goddamn right. God, is he fucking funny. He doesn't give a fuck. And the way he talks, I have to listen to it like 15 times over, because he's got that there and there. But he's like, I don't give a fuck what he fucking does. What's he gonna do for the playoff? Like I love that.
It's good. It's good when it's winning, when they're winning.
100%. But there's a reason why they're winning, and I think he has a lot to do with that too. He keeps everybody accountable. He's like Berube without. Berube says the same kind of shit, but he's not as like sarcastic. Like what's the word for it?
Yeah,
like,
he's not.
Like Berube's like Benner. He's got to play better. Well, no. He's going to make, I don't care what happens in front of him. He's going to make a save once in a while.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck if Franco's throwing pizzas out the wall.
Well, the question was, how does he get his confidence back? He's like, I don't know, play
You
better.
go goddamn play, and you stand on your fucking head.
I know.
And so when
and he's doing that now.
And he's doing it now. But that's what it is, and I just love that. It's not like, well, dude, no, just go do it. All y'all, anybody, your kid, whatever. Yeah. I don't know why he's not. Sometimes you just got to go motherfucking do it.
So Matthew Tkachuk, they're going to have to qualify him at his $9 million number, which I guess they could do. He's got, he's 1 year away from UFA. But if this guy hits the market, he's north of $10 million too.
Why wouldn't he be?
You got 40 goals and 100 points, and you're physical, mean, whatever, and you bring his entire package. How many guys who are putting up 100 points bring his package?
Nobody, dude. Not many. Not many. Jamie Benn, if he got 100 points, would be maybe considered in that category. Even big Leon Draisaitl, he's not mean. Matthew's mean. Matthew will fucking stick you in your gut.
He will.
He'll cup check your fucking ass. Like shit like that. Like that's, I know it's like, what does that mean? Well, I'm telling you, like you try to hit him, he's not going to go down. Like he's big. He's dirty.
Yeah.
He's in the dirty fuck areas. You can't.
But now this year he's just into making plays and putting up points.
Whatever.
And scoring
What
goals.
game do you want to play?
I know.
What game do you want to play with him? He'll do anything.
So I will give Daryl some credit because he's getting the most out of these players, man. I thought that was an issue last year, and I didn't know if he was capable of, really, truly, like, elevating the play of your skilled guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, he did it in L.A. too, man. I mean, obviously,
he did.
Listen, all these guys thrive under him.
Sometimes
they may not like him. I bet you these players wonder if Daryl even knows who they are. They probably never even talk, man.
Daryl's the kind of coach, and I told you, I like to talk to coaches. I don't want them to, but I just like to know where I'm at. But he's the kind of guy that might walk right past you and not say a motherfucking word.
You don't know where you're at.
A motherfucking word. And
when I say that about Berube, you do know where you're at.
Yeah, 100%.
He'll tell you.
He'll tell you. And Berube's not going to talk your ear off either. And then there's a balance to it. But he was specific. I could picture Daryl walking by you and just not saying a motherfucking word. And that sometimes is like, oh, God. But it's working. And I like how no one's bigger than the team, right? Like he belittles your fucking ass.
Says that all the time.
I don't give a fuck what he did with 100. He could score 150 points. But see, what are we doing next month?
That's what he learned from like Bobby Clark and Paul Holmgren and those guys. It's all about team and whatever. Because you've heard some of those guys say it too.
I say you got that from Big Lou more than Big Lou is all about it.
I'm talking about Berube.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, back in the day. Okay, I get what you're saying. Yep. I'm just saying like. Lou was team more than anybody else was team in the early 90s. Like he was the first one to be like, everybody looks the same. Yeah. Everybody dresses the same. Every fucking military style badass. Like don't everybody matches. Like I know it's annoying, but like you walk out there, everything's in sync. Like you just. Like, everybody looks the same. And I know it was a pain in the ass, but just, like, little things like that, man. Like, he put you in your place. Yeah. And, God, I needed that so bad. So, I get it, man. The coaches that don't say hi to you, it's a little too much. Like, just fucking say hey.
Well, you gotta just like, say fucking humanize yourself.
Yeah, dude. Like, I know where I'm at. Like, I'm already down here. Like, you don't have to walk past me and not say hi. I'm not learning anything from that. It's actually hindering my confidence. You see Brady the other day? Oh, yeah.
He's like doing karaoke. I'm sure some people out there are like,
what's going on?
What is he doing? Why isn't he at home sleeping?
God, what's he doing? No, he's hanging out with fans, you fuck. He's actually talking with fans and hanging out with them. He's not doing weird things. He probably had a day off the next day. I don't give a fuck anyway. He's hanging out with fans. As a captain of Ottawa, he's allowed to be like a
22-year-old.
He could do what he fucking wants. Good God. You're lucky, man, that he's like outgoing and nice and shit. Like you're gonna have it good coming up here once that team's actually pretty fucking good. Yeah. But right now, let him have fun. If anybody ever chirped, I'd be so fucking pissed at that. I didn't see it, but I'm just saying, go have fun. He's interacting with fans. You know what other players do? They don't talk to fans. They go hide in the goddamn corner and they lock the door. And they lock the door.
And then they come out after it closes when they're allowed to hang out afterwards.
And well, it's just like they don't even care. Like, man, you go talk to fans, dude. They might have a dipshit, but have the dipshit escorted out if he's a weirdo to you. I would always talk to fans, dude. It was fun. They do shit for you. You feel like comfortable because like in case some weirdos there, you got 50 fucking people that love you. I don't know. That's how I look at it.
All right, Jack Edwards on this edition of the Cam Strick Podcast, dude. We've been wanting to get this guy. It's interesting talking to him because, he's got such a history of like creating headlines for like, how he handles certain situations, what he says about certain players being like the ultimate homer. But he owns it. Like it's like you talk to him. Listen, I'll be interested and curious to hear from the fans after they hear this interview of like their perception of Jack Edwards, man. We get into a lot of different topics with him, and he is who he is. And I will say this, man, and I'm not surprised because everyone we bring on here, listen, we always have a lot of respect for them. We treat them with respect, but you get to learn more about them and who they are and where they're coming from. And I learned that from Jack, man. He's had a long broadcasting career, a very successful one too. And he knows what he's all about, and he's not afraid to be himself.
And he still has a gig, man. And he doesn't like apologize. I just kind of like sometimes you'll say something stupid and everybody's on you. And they're like, I'm so sorry. And you dig yourself a bigger hole when you fucking apologize. Although you like agree with what you said.
Right.
Like there's certain things you need to apologize for, but sometimes you need to stand your ground. And he does that, and I appreciate it. And I like him a lot more than I did. Because I do kind of probably agree with like bigger things with him, I can tell. But if I got into a jam and I was innocent and you fucking call me out, Austin Watson style, I might have to fucking talk to you. Or something.
But he says no one really ever has.
I know, right? But that's where I even told him, I would have fucking been mad about that one. But I appreciate I just appreciate where you're at. Like, I get it. Like, you're you. And I like that.
No, he's compared, players to Sirhan. He had to come out and apologize for that and shit.
I know, I laughed at a lot of things.
You didn't even know who Sirhan was.
I laughed at a lot of things. And I know people are going to be like, that wasn't funny at the time. Well, now you look back, it's goddamn funny, okay? No one's hurt. Who gives a shit? But if I'm a player, sometimes I would have got pissed. I admit that. I would have.
Yeah. Well, the people in Boston, I think, like him, man.
They like him. He's through and through. He's Boston through and through.
And he's kept his job all these years.
He did go. His phone fucked. He was talking about Disney.
Oh yeah.
I couldn't hear what he was saying. I knew he was going to bash.
Because he's a former ESPN anchor back in the day, man, on Sports Centre. So anyway, we'll get to this interview here with Jack Edwards. It's always brought to you by Hair Club and hairclub.com. Cam.
I don't like my bald spot. But I like the front of my hair because I got 3 years ago, I got it done with Hans Wyman, who's associated with Hair Club.
Yes.
And they did my front part, so I look kind of sexy in the front. Is this if he had like a drone flying over my head? He'd be like, what's that fucking cul-de-sac doing? But you can get that fixed too. And it's easy, man. I'm telling you, walking in those places, and I was like, I can walk in there. No, everybody gets it. Like, everybody's in the same situation there. Even people that work there understand. They get it. They probably had their own shit that they had to deal with, too. Just get in there and get a meeting done. Yeah. Because you're staring at yourself in the fucking mirror. I know what you're doing.
Oh, yeah.
And you're like, oh, God, help me.
Well, here's what you can do. You can restore your hair. Yeah. I mean, like where you, keep your hair. Because if you start losing it, whatever, there's things that they can do for you to make sure you don't lose anymore. Yeah. So you can restore it.
Pills, there's gels.
You can renew it. Yeah. Like, if you start losing it, you can have it come back, kind of like what you did.
Can you take hair and put it on your face so you look like you have a fucking beard?
I don't know. You ask him about that. Then you can regrow it, too.
That's what happened to
me. Restore, renew, regrow.
Well, if you regrow your hair, it's like the best feeling in the world because it takes like 12 to 18 months.
Well, it's like that lemon tree in the back.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so you look at yourself in the mirror like 3 months down the road and you're like, God, I'm getting my fucking hair back. God damn, boy. I'm like, I'm going to look. And then you feel more confident. Anytime you go out, if you're younger, you get that done. The hair keeps growing back. Yes. Every time you go and you want to sniff around a little bit, you're like, I got a little thicker head of hair on me. I'm going to fucking wheel tonight. Now your confidence is back. Now you walk in that meeting room with your bosses. You got a little flow going. You feel confident. I'm telling you, you feel confident when your hair grows back. Yeah. And I'm telling you this, you feel unconfident. Is that the word? Unconfident? Not confident? Whatever.
Lack of confidence.
Lack of confidence when that goddamn hair is falling out and you see it and drain.
Like it's on the pillow.
Oh, Lord, fuck.
Yeah, your girl's putting her hands through your hair.
The girl you're talking to is like, she's like evaluating your scalp. Like,
but there's nothing to be embarrassed if you're losing your hair.
There's nothing you could do about it.
No.
Well, there's as far as like your genetics are concerned, like you can't just be like, hey, stop doing it. No, you gotta go. You gotta call Hair Club, man. Yeah. It's that simple.
No question about it. I feel like my hair is getting a little thicker right now. It's actually getting a little thicker. I don't know what it is.
I mean, you got okay hair.
You know, it was receding for a little bit.
You look young. I'll give you that, but your hair's not that nice.
It's not
that
like
nice.
super thick.
I mean, if
I
you
don't
want
have
me to
like big
evaluate
flow, you know.
I will. I mean, there's things I can make fun of.
Well, the wife and I went out to dinner on Saturday night. You know, we took some pictures or whatever. And the hair's kind of looking
good. I told you look good.
It's just gray. Like it's gray on the
It's
sides
an easy
and the back.
fucking fix. No one feels sorry for you to have gray
Would
hair.
you color your hair?
Fuck yes.
Would you?
Goddamn right. Why wouldn't I? Yes.
Okay.
Of course I would. I got new hair plugs put in. Why would I not dye my hair?
Paint it.
Paint the fucking thing. Who gives a shit?
Anyway, Hair Club, again, 800-279-7878. Go to our landing page and schedule your first consultation straight from there. And you're going to save $250, Cam.
Right off the bat, baby.
Right off the bat, baby. Hairclub.com/Cam and Strick. Go there and go there today. Over 1,200 locations, by the way. So no matter where you're at.
Yeah, you can find something.
You got something going
No
on
excuse.
there. No
Just
excuses.
walk in that
man.
goddamn door.
No.
Set up an appointment.
No excuses.
Easy.
CarShield and CarShield.com, 800-857-2481. You know that phone number?
Those fucking potholes I'm on.
Oh,
in
my
Manchester.
God. Where you live? Where you live?
No, not where I live. Everything gets fixed where I live in the wealthy part of Fremont. No.
What's your homeowner association fee?
I don't know.
You got to pay that
I don't know.
every month or what?
I guess.
You don't even know.
I don't do my bills.
Oh, the wife
what do I
does
look
it.
like?
Yeah, okay.
Do I look like crunching numbers to you? I do my bills. You fucking kidding me? Never have done it.
The
I probably
potholes,
should've.
dude.
Oh,
You know what causes that?
Rain, snow,
It's
sleet,
the salt.
all that shit.
You know, back when I was living in Arizona, up in the mountains, 7,000 elevation,
what?
we averaged over 150 inches of snow a
cool.
winter. They don't use salt. They use cinder.
Good for them.
So it doesn't rust the cars and it doesn't destroy the streets.
Oh, that's another thing living in Winnipeg. Go check out those trucks. They don't last long.
Oh, no, they don't.
It's like having a dog that chases cars.
You know, people use chains on their tires, too.
Yeah, in Russia.
Mm-hmm. No, they use it up like in higher elevations up in the mountains.
Yeah,
people will put chains.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
That's nothing new, Andy.
Yeah. So,
everybody's seen Rocky IV.
I'm letting you know.
Everybody's seen Rocky IV, Andy. Jesus Christ. Andy.
So CarShield, man, get that ultimate protection and get it today. You never know when something's going to go down in your car, Cam.
Fucking embarrassing if it does.
Could be your starter. Like
Jesus.
What happened to you? It could be an alternator, could be an engine, could be a computer.
Could be anything, dude.
Could be anything.
Yeah, brakes, all that shit.
But when you have that peace of mind and that protection from CarShield, you say, bring it on, baby. You don't even care. 800-857-2481. You're ready for it. Use that promo code CAM, which is very embarrassing.
For who?
But it'll save you money, and that's what it's all about with CarShield and CarShield.com.
Easy peasy.
I saw you just put that loosey-goosey in.
I did.
Yeah?
Yeah, wintergreen, baby.
Oh, wintergreen.
Yeah.
You're not using the cinnamon.
Yeah, well, I got to change it up. Sometimes you got to change it up. And he's got to, like, hook me back up. Like I'm running through this shit. Because I feel like people send you shit and you don't fucking give it to me. I think they want to send it to you so you can relay it to me, to be completely honest with you. But I think you keep shit and like give it away to your nerd fuck neighbors.
Just because I had that. Oh,
don't care.
Don't even.
I don't give
started.
a fuck about your stupid neighbors. They've done nothing. I don't care how smart they are and they smell like curry. I don't give a shit. Tell them to fucking cure something.
They just got a new Tesla, you know, like the door that opens up like the old DeLorean. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, well, it's a stupid concept.
Like the door. Why?
Because you're banging on shit. It's stupid. It's hard to get out. Open the fucking door. So everything that's made for a car that opened one way, now you got to open a different way and you hit your lights and shit. That's stupid.
You know what the DeLorean is?
Yeah.
From Back in the Future.
And they sucked. The DeLorean sucked. Do you not notice they're not around anymore?
Weren't they fast?
They weren't nothing. They were cheap. And they look goofy.
They kind of look like
they look cool because of goddamn
something.
Michael J. Fox.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why they put that in there is because of a certain something. But they didn't last long. Why is that? Because they sucked.
Oh. Well, you know it doesn't suck.
Lucy? Yeah, no shit. I had to put two of these bad boys in.
I can't believe you weren't chewing the gum at the Blues game. You're such a Hoosier.
Oh, my breath must be.
And you're a terrible example for our listeners that you're leaving the rink and smoking darts.
I know.
When you have Lucy in your pocket.
And then I had to take off my pants, coming back in front of everybody.
Oh my God.
I know. And it was like Selldown camp.
What do you have in those pockets, by the way?
I don't know. There's things in there. We're partying it. It's my birthday.
Sure. Yeah.
Like, fuck.
Cam's birthday.
I'm like, what am I taking out of my fucking
pocket? Did you get a pinata
pocket?
for your birthday? Cam acted like he was turning 10, you know?
Well, I always get hooked up with people. It's quite nice. It's not nice to have a birthday, but when you're vain, is it vain? Am I vain? And then you see everybody
it feels good, doesn't it?
And if people say, no,
I put an Instagram story up.
I didn't see it.
You didn't see it?
No.
No, you did.
Well, I don't watch. I don't follow you.
Yeah.
I follow entertaining people. I don't like to watch you cook grass.
Dude, my cookbook is coming out very, very soon. Do you want to be a part of it?
Not really.
I was actually, in all honesty, and I talked to the lady about this, would you write the foreword?
Yeah.
Would you?
Yeah, I will.
Okay.
But it's got to be my way or the highway.
Oh, dude, it's your way.
All right.
You can write, and I got to approve it, but you can write the foreword if you want.
Now somebody will buy
Can
the
you
book.
give me an example of what?
No, I don't. I can't. No, we don't. I can't. I got shit to do.
Lucy.co. Get there today. Use that promo code Cam and Strick. Big announcement, by the way. Breaking news about Lucy Goosey. Because I've been getting a lot of people messaging. I'm sure you have too. Is it available in Canada?
Yeah, man.
Now it is.
It's good shit.
The Canadians can now get Lucy.co. Go there today. Pick out your flavor. They got the gum. They've got the lozenges. And they've got the pouches, man. And I got to do a little warning, though. Nicotine is an addictive chemical. Just in case
That's why I love it.
You didn't know.
And you know what? Like the Canadian folk, which we love, but we do chirp your country a little bit. Mm-hmm. We chirp U.S. We chirp everything. It is what it is. But those cats up there, if they're smoking darts and chewing tobacco in Canada, they got to take a loan out to fucking pay for it. Just so you know. Mm-hmm. Costs out the motherfucking ass.
Yeah, I know.
To chew, to smoke, and I get it, but it's out the wazoo. So anyway, Lucy's probably the best bet for you. Yeah. I'm telling you. I got one in right now. You can't even tell.
No, you can't even tell. You would never know.
But if I put the fucking grizzly
you can
in,
tell
you
that.
can,
I've had people say stuff to me
speech impediment comes back in. You know, I wasn't able to say R when I was a kid, too.
Really?
Fucking embarrassing. And I pissed the bed. Fucking embarrassing.
Jesus, dude. We'll get into that next time.
Horrible.
Hey, some stuff you just probably should keep to yourself.
I don't care anymore.
Just a little
I don't do it anymore.
The Better Business Bureau. You do that.
Dang right.
What do you use that for?
Well, hotels.
Obviously, you don't use it for hotels because you stayed in that shitty-ass hotel in New York.
Which one?
In New York where you had the bed bugs.
I didn't have bed bugs.
You did. In the Sheraton. The people next to you making noises. Your room wasn't getting cleaned. All of that stuff.
Oh, that's because of COVID. Fuck rule. Hey, New York's a fucking dump. I'll say it.
Would you live there?
Fuck no. A dump. Everything's like spray painted. It's just not my style, man. I don't like it. I love the food, but it's just kind of like, I don't know. It's different now, man. I don't. You
got to check the reviews before you go anywhere. Restaurants.
I know. I didn't set it up.
I went to an amazing spot the other night. Very old school restaurant. It's been around for like 100 years, dude. They just renovated it.
Where?
The Tenderloin Room.
Oh yeah, dude.
Inside the Chase Park Plaza.
Badass.
Old school. There's been a lot of famous people who've eaten there over the years.
Old school gangsters in that mug back in the day.
Old school gangsters back in the day. You kind of get that vibe.
Coming down from Chicago, doing that fucking business. Mm-hmm. Hell yeah, dude. I like that. Good for you.
Yeah.
I'm sure you got a nice tenderloin. Oh, no, you didn't. You got fish.
I put the pictures up, I think, actually.
It's always fish and grass. Fish and grass.
But the Better Business Bureau, check this out, because you need to know this about the BBB. When consumers see the BBB accredited business seal, it tells them what, Cam?
Well, that you're... What do you mean?
Like when you see the BBB seal
then I'm
at
going
a business,
there.
It's a seal. You're like, I can trust this business.
A
trust.
Yeah, trust. Yeah, it's a seal of trust.
That's exactly what it is.
Exactly.
You know how long they've been around?
A long 100 years.
Oh, there you go. Over 100 years now.
100 years.
They've been around forever.
It's a good concept right there, baby.
So we love this. Again, check them out, bbb.org. And if you're local, man, you can give them a call, 314-645-3300. But again, the bbb.org. Another BBB division, by the way, they reached out and they may want us to do like a commercial for them and stuff like that. So we may have to.
I got to get my tan on.
Did you go tanning?
I did the other day.
Oh, my God.
I'm going to go again today, I think.
All right.
Fucking embarrassing, but I got to do it.
Behlman, by the way, you keep saying Kyle. It's Kenny. His son is Kenny. You keep saying Kyle. He reached out to me.
Oh, settle down, Kenny.
So Danny boy, he's like, who the hell is Kyle? I'm like,
when did I say Kyle?
Cam's fault.
When did I say Kyle? I don't even know a Kyle.
I don't know.
I guess I do know a
Dale.
Kyle. And his brother Dale. No, I know Dale and all those guys. It's all
Kenny.
Good. Kenny, what's up, baby?
Give Kenny a shout out. It's not Kyle.
Up, I didn't say I was Kyle. What's he talking about? God dang.
Danny boy.
What up, dudes?
Again, Behlman.com.
Great guys, man.
Which was like, he's in Troy. And the Pamela Hupp story a lot of it was in Troy too, man.
That psycho woman.
She's just like
not bad.
What a nut. But she lived in O'Fallon, St. Charles area. But Russ Faria.
What'd she look like?
Pam.
She look good.
Look it up. Look it up.
Well,
you got to watch the show.
Well, I know a girl plays her.
Renee Zellweger.
Zellweger, yeah. She's kind of cute,
Well, she had to look like Pam for the.
Oh no. Oh well.
For the show, so
Usually the hot chicks get away with that shit, but not the ugly ones.
Yeah, but Josh Dummel, I think is how you say the name. He played my boy Joel Schwartz, who's the defense attorney. Yeah. He played him in the show. So they had some good actors. Oh, yeah, Joel.
Yeah, I'll try that out, man. I'll
give Joel Schwartz a shout out too. He listens all the time. What up, Joel? Hell of a job. Featured prominently on Dateline too, and a big part of this show.
Cool.
Dude.
I'll watch it.
Very successful. Very successful. Anyway, so check it out, Behlman.com. They'll buy your car, by the way. I want to let people know that. They will buy your car today. They'll pay above Kelley Blue Book.
Oh, yeah.
Like a lot of dealerships say they'll do it, but this dealer will absolutely do it.
Yep.
So Behlman.com, get there and get out to Troy today. They got the Buick, the GMC, and the Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Have you seen that new Jeep Wagoneer, by the way?
Yeah.
It's like the size of like a Suburban, basically. I mean, it's a big car. Hey, I got to get that trailer, that hitch on.
You're like, look, I'm an outdoorsy guy. No, you're not.
I got to get that hitch. So
for what?
You can pull a boat and stuff like that and whatever. If you ever like needed to, if I was,
you don't even know how to.
If you're on vacation.
Yeah, you driving your family with a boat behind a fucking Jeep. That's a disaster waiting to happen.
You know, it's not a disaster. Jack Edwards. People are going to enjoy this conversation, man. A lot of fun. With the Boston Bruins play-by-play announcer from NESN.
Yeah, baby.
Once got during the COVID, man, a fire alarm went off in their studio and they had to leave and evacuate the building, and they couldn't do the third period of the game.
Really?
Yes.
Did you say that? Did I forget it?
Freezing cold outside too. Yeah. So he and Andy Brickley they do a hell of a job, man. Bruins games.
Yeah, they do.
So enjoy this one with Jack Edwards on this edition of the Cam Strick Podcast. The Cam Strick Podcast is brought to you by CarShield. You know, nothing more frustrating, Cam, than when that engine light comes on and you know right off the bat you're going to have to spend thousands of dollars to repair your vehicle. Call 800-857-2481. Mention the promo code CAM or visit carshield.com and use the code CAM to save 10%. Yeah. That's carshield.com. A deductible may apply. Save yourself money. Sign up and get your coverage now with carshield.com. Now to the interview.
Hey, good morning.
Is this Andy Brickley?
We wanted Andy. What up, Jackie boy?
How you doing?
Where you at like right now? You got a little day off? Like, are you out of town? What do you got going today?
I'm at home, nice. Getting ready to walk the dog.
What kind of dog you got?
He's a lab mix that we got as a rescue, and he's like part hound, so he runs and he looks like the cartoon on a side of a Greyhound bus. So
ooh.
Yeah.
Well, I got a dog.
He
too.
rescues dogs. No, Andy, you pay a lot of money for a dog. We rescue animals from horrible situations.
Oh man.
Exactly right.
So what's it like for you on a day off today? You're not skiing today? I mean, you love to ski. Every time I text you, you're going skiing, you know?
Yeah, I love to ski. I'm just trying to organize myself for the springtime and the playoffs and doing a little research on the Blues because in game 72 of the season, the Bruins are playing the Blues for the first time. So, yeah.
Well, don't ask Cam anything about the Blues.
Why are you beating me so much? I've never met him.
Actually, he'll have good information for you. But listen, these games are always good, though, Jack, when the Blues and the Bruins get together. Yeah. Like, in terms of how they play, there's been games that have come down to the wire. Like, do you look forward to this one? Like a good team in the West that you don't get to see very often.
Yeah, I really look forward to St. Louis games because not so much because of what happened in 2019, but there really isn't a rivalry there because they don't play each other often enough. But the Blues have always been a heavy team, and they like to get inside ice, and it gets contentious right off the drop. And there have been some sensational games between these two teams. I remember one in pparicular where David Backes, when he was the captain of the Blues, scored with, I think, less than a second left to tie the game. And I said, as he came past the benches with the puck. It's going to take a miracle finish. And I ate my words because it was. But,
I'll never forget. Brad Boyes got the game winner in the shootout too. So I mean, they ended up winning the game in a shootout. But that was that was a crazy finish. I'll never forget that. Hey, look, when you look at the Stanley Cup final though, Jack, like I'm curious. We know the Blues perspective, what took place from a Blues angle in Game 7. Like, what's your take? Like, what happened to Boston there in Game 7 after winning Game 6 here in St. Louis? I think most people outside of St. Louis thought that there was no chance that the Blues could go in there and win in Game 7.
So I had a brief athletic career as a soccer player. And the thing about soccer teams when they're down in a game, and of course the Bruins were down in the series, and everybody thought that St. Louis was going to clinch it in Game 6. The thing about being behind is you expend an enormous amount of effort to get back even and to get on top. And despite the emotional edge, which was perceived in the hands of the Bruins, they were really exhausted because Craig Berube coached a marvelous series, and he saw that battering the Bruins defensemen, especially Matt Grzelcyk, who was out for 4 games, would be the easiest way to get the advantage in that series. And frankly, I think in retrospect that the Bruins just ran out of gas because to a man, they were emotionally ready for that game. But when they got down, they couldn't reach the level that was necessary to expend the effort to get even with St. Louis. And, that's what 7-game series are all about. When one team proves that it's better than the other, and it can come in thousands of ways, but Berube figured it out, and more credit to him.
Yeah, I think it was Sonny. Wasn't it, Andy? Sonny goes out on the forecheck there, kind of caught him high, if I remember it correctly. Look, even before that series, I mean, the Blues and that whole run, I mean, they ran fucking San Jose right out of the building. They were hitting Carlson every single shift. And you kind of, he only had like one leg to stand on by the end of that. Like the Blues wore teams out that year, and they played that heavy style, and it really worked.
Yeah. And it's an exciting brand of hockey, and I hope the NHL doesn't sterilize the playoffs as it's trying to sterilize the regular season. I will initiate the conversation on Brad Marchand. He got suspended for an alleged slew foot, and George Peros must be a mind reader, because in the slow motion explanation of it, Peros all but gives a motive for Marchand, and he was engaged. He was on the wrong edge of his skate, so he lifted his inside leg against the back of the other player's thigh, and he went down, and it was more of Marchand overpowering the guy as they approached the boards than it was a slew foot. In fact, in the very next game, an opponent of the Bruins slew-footed Brandon Carlo, like toe kicking the heel of his skate. That is what a slew foot is. And, the Department of Player Safety just has made dartboard justice out of the additional discipline, in my opinion. But, I hope it doesn't get to that in the playoffs, because the playoffs are rugged and they should be a test. And a politically incorrect statement, it is a man's game. And it tests the manliness of every single player on the roster. And that is one of the most compelling things about it, because it's raw, it's primal, it's skillful, but it isn't the regular season and rotisserie or fantasy leagues. You know, it's man on man, get to the inside ice, prove you're tougher than the other team while still displaying your hockey IQ and skill.
Yeah, well, Marchand got that 6-gamer this year, too, the incident with Tristan Jarry and whatever. I mean, listen, if he's not Marchand, we all know that he's not getting 6 games. But, like, what's your take on Brad? Like, what should we know about this guy? Because, let's face it, listen, he plays on the edge. He brings a lot of attention to himself. And now he's kind of opened up his personality this year, and he gets some attention for that. But, like, if he was on the other team, Jack, I can only imagine how you're, like, calling some of those games with him on the other team. Like, what should people know about Brad Marchand? Should they like him more than they do?
Well, I think you have to look at a guy who broke in as a fourth-line mucker, and he was an agitator, and that is his worldview of being an NHL player. You've got to prove yourself on this shift, this period, this game, or you might get sent back to the AHL. And that has been universal in his character and his play every single game of his career. And he's turned into one of the most complete left wings in his era because the last 5 years, he's been a point per game player, and nobody saw this coming. And his dedication and discipline to improve himself, and his work ethic and his work rate during games, nobody retrieves the puck better than Brad Marchand. And he's turned into a vital gear in the Bruins transmission. And, if hockey fans can't appreciate that, well, that's their problem. But I admire the guy, and I think his number's going to rest from the rafters at TD Garden.
Yeah, well, they should. Who did he crush the other day? Oh, my God. He crushed somebody. Clean hit. Well, it was a little borderline, but they didn't call it. He turned around and made it just a great pass. He's built for the playoffs. I do think that, I think like guys like him deserve another shot at winning, And let me ask you this. We just watched Chara play in the Island, and I'm looking at him, and it's kind of a shame that he's not going to be in the playoffs this year. But what can you say about him? Like, have you seen anything like him ever in hockey or pretty much in any other sport? The guy climbs mountains. He's a freak. Like, tell us about him.
We saw him the other day. He was here with the Islanders.
Well,
yeah, he looked pretty good, too.
Yeah. We did a special on him, an hour-long special, and we found out a lot about him. And among other things, on fitness testing day, the first day or the first full day of training camp, he once did 37 pull-ups unassisted in a row. And, I'm a guy who weighs 150 pounds, and I need the big fat rubber band assisting me, and I can do sets of 8.
And he does 6, so don't worry about it.
Yeah. So Zdeno Chara weighs 255 or 250, whatever, and he's got these enormously long arms. And you think about the training that he had to do throughout his life to gain that strength and stamina and the will to make himself better. He was the gravitational force that drew players to Boston when they were, they got Phil Kessel at number 5 overall, and they earned it. They were terrible in 2006 and the first part of 2007. under Dave Lewis, which was Chara's first year, and he was minus 27 because he tried to do too much. And for all Dave Lewis's great attributes, he was not a good fit as a head coach. I like to compare him to Leo Mazzoni, who was the great pitching coach. Yeah. And he had a couple of feelers for managerial positions. And Leo said, I know what I am, and I am a great pitching coach. Leave it at that. And so I think Louis ought to have stayed as one of the best assistants of all time, but it just didn't work out. And he leaned on Chara so much. And Chara, in his first year in Boston, the pressure that he brought on himself was just enormous. And he needed Claude Julien to reset, and he did. And a season after that, in 2009, he won Norris, and he was the best defenseman in the world that year.
Yeah, no question about that. Dave Lewis.
And the scariest.
A lot of great assistants under Scotty Behlman back in the day.
Shit.
I will say that, not just Dave. Hey, one more question about Marchand, then I want to go back and talk about some of the stuff you've done in your career, even before you got to the NHL. But listen, when he's licking guys and stuff like that, what do the organization do behind the scenes to kind of get control of that? Because I find it hard to believe he would ever do something like that again. But I mean, listen. For a while there, Jack, we all know he was kind of he was off the chain, some of the stuff that he was doing on the ice,
Yeah. Bruce Cassidy invited Marchand and his wife and his kids over to dinner in the off season. And I think Cassidy's wife, if memory serves, introduced the subject, and they had a discussion about Marchand's real personality and the personality that he projects through his play. And they talked legacy. They talked how you're going to be remembered. And it is water over the dam with most fans. But that point was a pivot point for Brad Marchand in Boston, because he really became conscious of his projected image and how he was damaging the team by getting suspended in the last week of the season and killing the momentum of a team going toward the playoffs. And, I liken it to a guy who's got the ultimate fire in his belly, but the fire in his belly ends up burning his house down once every 2 years. And, he had to find the fire hose to control that. And, I think the Jari incident was emblematic of how the fire gets too hot sometimes, but he knows that the next one is going to be massive. It's going to be a Rafi Torres style suspension. That's going to be really, really harmful to his career and the trajectory of the Boston Bruins, because they depend on this guy on the power play. He's one of the best penalty killers of his era. He has 33 shorthanded goals in the career. That's an absurd number. Great players, great penalty killers usually end up with 10 or 15. And, he's the best retriever of the puck that I've seen in this era. Nobody goes after the puck like a dog on meat like Brad Marchand, and he's got to walk the razor's edge, but you can't separate the fire in his belly from the 5-alarm fire. His house is burning down again. So, that's just part of the risk and reward of having Brad Marchand on your team.
Okay. Yeah. I get that. All right, let's go back to your days at ESPN, man. You're like a sports center anchor. You're calling soccer games.
I saw him on the Last Dance last night. I'm watching it over again.
You're doing like sports center commercials with Roger Clemens.
Yeah,
I mean, did you like, was hockey kind of like something that you always envisioned yourself doing? Like, were you hoping to get to the NHL? Like, take us through, your career path of getting to the NHL, but the time you spent there at the worldwide leader.
So I graduated from UNH, University of New Hampshire, in 1979. I was there on a half soccer scholarship, and I broke my leg Joe Theismann style during a game in the summer of '77. So I missed my entire junior year. And I had all this energy, and I always have loved to write. And I got into the student radio station. And by pure happenstance, I discovered that they didn't have a hockey play-by-play guy. And I applied for the job and got him. That was the season of 1978. And in '79, my senior year, there were 3 future NHL players on that team. Bobby Gould, who played for the Caps for a long time and ended up with the Bruins for a cup of coffee at the end of his career. Bruce Crowder, who played a couple of seasons for the Bruins, and Bobby Francis, the son of Emile Francis, who later went on to coach the Coyotes for a couple of years, and a great goaltender named Greg Moffat. And they went all the way to the Frozen Four, which was played at the Olympia in Detroit. And they ran into a University of Minnesota team, which was coached by some guy named Herb Brooks, and had Neil Broughton and Mark Janaszak and Bill Baker on it, who would contribute mightily to the gold medal in 1980. And they got beaten in the semifinals, but it gave me unbelievable experience and the thrill of being at really big, important games. And I was hooked. And so I followed my heart and went just about broke for 2 years out of college, working at a small market radio station. And then that led me to TV, and I worked my way up to Boston and eventually got to ESPN in the golden years before Disney bought the network in 1995. But, when Cap Cities owned the company, it was still a cult and widely regarded as the golden years are the years from 89 through 95. I joined ESPN in 1991, and a guy who had been hired 2 weeks before me, named Mike Tirico, we had desks across from one another, and the executives had us do as our first project a demo for a crazy idea, which was called ESPN2. And we were thinking, this is such a loser idea because we can barely fill 24/7 of inventory on one sports network, and they're going to launch a second network. And, now there are like, what, 21 ESPN networks?
I know,
and yeah. So, those were really, really fun times because we had Steve Anderson, the son of Pulitzer Prize winning sports columnist Dave Anderson of the New York Times. Steve ran the newsroom day to day, and John Walsh, who had come from Rolling Stone to be the managing editor of ESPN's news division, just told us to go out there and be smart. And he said to us, this is at the dawn of the internet and the dawn of the information age. Tell me something that I can't find on radio or television or a newspaper or in a magazine. Tell me something original that'll make me feel smarter. And that was the mission of SportsCenter in the early 90s. And you look at the fabulous talent that that stable had. Chris Berman was still doing SportsCenter. John Saunders, Tom Mees, Bob Lee, Dan Patrick, Bill Patrick, Robin Roberts, Charlie Steiner. I could go on.
Stuart Scott,
Stuart.
Yeah, Stu came on with Susie Colbert in 1992 or 3 when ESPN2 launched, and the talent pool was just immense, and we challenged each other with our research and writing, and a half an hour of SportsCenter was not just entertainment. You felt like you were part of the private newsletter of people who made their livings through professional sports, and those were really, really fun times.
Yeah, I mean, Kenny Mayne, Bob Lee, you had all these guys, man, that were there that became legendary, like broadcasting fixtures. But like, what's happened to ESPN? What's the deal? Like, what's going on with ESPN now?
Oh man.
Well, in my opinion, Disney is a giant macroeconomic equation, and we used to get the Chilton poll, which is like the Gallup poll of sports, every week, and they would list the events and sports in order of keeping the audience. So producers arranged the rundowns so they would lose the least audience. And that when you play not to lose, it's a much different mentality than playing to win.
Yeah.
And that changed the focus of SportsCenter because, SportsCenter, the half-hour version in the early 90s, you learned something out of left field. You learned something about Indian cricket or Australian rules football or sumo wrestling, and it was entertaining and informative and clever. And now it's just the most slickly produced video, like skimming off the surface of sports.
Yeah. Hey, your phone cut out there a little bit. So wherever you were the first half hour, just stay in that spot. It just kind of cut out there. We got the gist of it. All right. So your style as a broadcaster, like how would you define it, Jack? Because, listen, it's not for everybody, but I'm sure the home fans love it because, there's no question where your alliance is, which is really no different than a lot of local broadcasters. But you certainly take it to the extreme, kind of walk that edge. Sometimes cross the edge. How do you define your style as a play-by-play guy?
Well, moving from network broadcasting to where I've lived virtually my whole life, my family moved to New England when I was 4 years old was a liberation for me because, you know, I don't get inside the heads of network broadcasters, and I didn't try to get inside the heads of my colleagues when I was on a national platform, but I know myself, sports is about having a stake in the game. You know, it's not a sterile examination of a news event. You know, I used to be a journalist, and I certainly know the difference between giving the story straight and giving the story from a slant. But New England is a really small town, and it covers 6 states. And you know, the fervor and the passion for the Boston teams is really, really deep, and it's deep in me, especially for the Bruins, who made my childhood thrilling and tragic because they couldn't get past the Canadiens. Oh, yeah. So I found it really liberating to be able to say what I felt instead of suppressing it. And I give Cam Neely and the Bruins plenty of credit for tolerating when I go over the top, and the audience gives it to me when they feel I've gone too far. And these are some of my lifelong friends who are Bruins fans, and so I'm good with that. You know, I like operating without a filter.
Hey, trust me, I get it, man. And let me tell you, as a player, though, like I like your style. I do. I like the openness. Trust me, I get it. But as a player, at times, if I would have heard some of the things, I probably would have been pissed, and maybe would have came up to you in the locker room and said, "Well, what the fuck?" Has that happened to you before? And and it's happened to Andy, by the way. Mike Babcock tried to fight Andy back in the day. It's actually quite hilarious now, but he came and confronted Andy, and I'm wondering if any of the players did that to you and how you reacted to it.
I think hockey players especially realize that it's an emotional game. Most guys do emotional calls, and some guys like me go over the edge sometimes. But if I'm accountable to that, I haven't gotten much pushback at all from hockey players. Baseball players tend to be negative thinkers because, you know, if you fail 7 times out of 10 at the plate, you're still a star. And I have had much more pushback from baseball players when I was reporting on the Red Sox. But I stood in front of their dressing stalls and we hashed it out.
Yeah.
What about the NHL? What about the league or the team or NESN? I mean, forget the players. I mean, whatever. They get upset, they get mad, whatever. But, I mean, have you ever been in hot water with the league or your employer?
There's been some back pressure from the league, and this was one vice president of broadcasting who has since departed, and he went back channel on me, and I said, you know, my phone number and email are in the league published media guide, and you know how to get in touch with me. Don't go behind my back and talk to my manager and go top down. If you've got a problem with what I say, confront me with it. And you know, in the same vein as I see great value in hockey fights. Be accountable, duke it out, and move on. And yeah, that's the way I feel it should be. And I've had a couple of heated moments, heated exchanges with the league, but by this time, they know I'm not backing down.
Ooh. So, okay, what situations are we talking about? Because, like you said, you compared Matt Cook to Sirhan, and then you came out and apologized for that, right? You came out and apologized. So you felt like you needed to apologize. The situation with Roman Polak, I think you said karma can get you, whatever you said. And then Alan Walsh is coming on Twitter from the top rope. He called you a piece of shit. Like, did that bother you? And are those like some of the instances that you're talking about where the league gets involved?
Neither one of those instances was what the league was trying to bring pressure on me. The Alan Walsh, we opened the season on the road in Dallas, flew to Phoenix that night, and I was awakened by a talk show calling me from Boston, saying, and I with a groggy tone in my voice, answered the phone, and the voice on the other end identified himself, and he said, "Would you like to come on the air and react to what Alan Walsh said about you?" And I swear this is true. I said, "Who is Alan Walsh?" And if you go back and watch the video, Chris Wagner is skating full speed toward a loose puck that's near the corner of the rink. And Roman Polak gives him a cross check in the small of the back. What was Polak doing? What was he doing? He was trying to throw Chris Wagner off balance as he was skating full speed into the boards. That is the play that has got to come out of hockey, because sooner or later, probably sooner, somebody's going to get their neck broken, and that's going to change their lives. It happens in amateur hockey about twice a year. You hear in North America, some poor prep school kid got trucked into the boards head first and he broke his neck, and he's going to be in a wheelchair for the rest of his shortened life. And Chris Wagner was making an honest play on the puck. He didn't foul anybody. He was skating in free space, and Roman Polak chose to cross-check him to send him off balance while he was hurtling toward immovable boards. And fortunately, Wagner sensed that. He didn't see it, but he sensed it, and he veered, I believe, to his right, deeper into the zone, and Polak went smashing into the boards and broke his sternum. And that's hockey karma, folks. Alan Walsh should look at the video, and if you watch the entire air check, we realized quickly that he was hurt and didn't pile on. My initial comment was, that's hockey karma.
Yeah.
And in real time, I stand by my call.
Yeah, I think you said bad hockey karma, whatever it is. Now, did you respond to Alan, or did you never responded to him?
Alan Walsh makes the sound of one hand clapping. I'm not going to provide the other hand.
There you go. Okay. When you have, some of your most famous lines, like Alex Killorn, take that Harvard degree, whatever, to the hospital. Are you coming up with those before the game? Is that completely like on the spot from the top of your head, Jack?
some of them are
scripted
from notes.
Okay.
The soliloquy after Game 7 in 2011, I had 5.5 hours to drive from Montreal to Boston. And, I took notes and charted out a commentary. Those one-liners are all spontaneous. It's just like a conversation in the stands at high volume during a great game, and it makes you laugh at what your seatmate is saying sometimes, and sometimes it falls flat. But you try a line and see if it holds.
Okay, so and real quick, getting back to the Sirhan, I'm not piling on with that, but you apologized. So was that on your own, or did somebody tell you during the break, hey man, you got to come on back on the air and apologize for that?
No, I asked for the opportunity because that came after the lockdown in Boston after the marathon bombing. The timing was terrible on my part, and the entire city was emotionally raw, and that was a mistake in timing on my part.
I gotcha. All right, Paul Stewart. Listen, the call and I'm still confused by this, Jack, because I watched the replay. The puck goes out of play, hits the net in Columbus, and the play never stopped and whatever. Okay, and then a goal was scored. I still have no idea why the goal counted or whatever. But so maybe you can help me understand the rule. Paul Stewart, who apparently used to work for NESN, I don't know if you guys have any history together. He came out, wrote something very critical of you on a website. Well, clarify that rule. Why was the play? Why did the goal stand? And what was your take to the criticism from a former referee and Paul Stewart?
First of all, how many people does it take to do play-by-play? One guy to do it and 99 to say you should have said, or, you shouldn't have said. Mm-hmm. And I don't waste my time with critics, and I really don't pay attention to what Paul Stewart writes or says. So the incident in Columbus, the NHL holds broadcast meetings before every season, usually about 2 weeks or 3 weeks before the season begins, sometimes closer to the start of the season.
Right.
And the NHL Hockey Operations Division illustrated a situation where the puck would go into the netting above the end glass, and a goal was scored, and the play would be wound back to the point at which the puck hit the netting. And I recited that part of the broadcast seminar as the play was going on, as best I could remember it. And Andy Brickley was at my side and affirming everything I said, and they did the opposite. They counted the goal. So, I was just acting as a reporter, because they told us it wouldn't count, and then it happened and it counted. So,
well, they probably didn't like that, did they? The league.
Well, they ought to grow a thicker skin. They got bigger fish to fry. I think the NHL does a reasonably good job, but it could be way, way better in some areas that would benefit the game.
Tyson Nash, our buddy, Andy and I, he's in a little bit of a jam too with that.
Yeah.
And he said skilled. These guys are going to come skill it up. And like, he could have used different verbiage on that. It is what it is. But if you really know the guy, like, you know what he's trying to say. But he's taking a lot of heat for that. You know, those kids are doing their thing. They're chirping the whole time, Zegras and Troy Terry. And people are getting sick of it. They're like, you're beating us. You're chirping like this. Like, we're gonna get pissed. So don't do that. Yeah. And so now he's in a little bit of a jam. But man, I get it. Andy and I do radio every damn day, and we get critiqued like no other. But you guys are in the spotlight with that. But yeah, man, it's just the way it is right now. You got to kind of watch what you say. Unfortunately.
You know, if you answer to the trolls, you elevate them, and that's exactly what they want you to do. And Twitter used to be fun about 10 years ago, and now it's an open sewer, and I choose not to bathe in that water.
There you go. Did you write that one down before you came out with us?
That
was pretty damn good right there, Andy. Jack. Listen,
hey. My father made his living as a theater director, so my worldview is drama.
He passed that down to you. Hey, listen, you had the like when you said like Roman Hammer, like whatever. You're saying like get up, like how much do you feel a part of the game, like emotionally, like connected to the actual game, like you feel like you're kind of like roped into it, like emotionally while the game is going on, where some of that stuff you say, like, it's going to piss some people off, like Cam said, whatever. But when you're saying just get up, whatever, I mean, do you feel like, maybe I shouldn't say that, or are you okay with it?
So far it's worked out. I'm too far along to change my style, but the Roman Hammerlick situation was, I think Wisniewski got cut early in the series, and he was leaking really, really bad, and play stopped, and rightfully so. And you know, if there's a severe injury on the ice, you know, that's the right thing to do by the on ice officials. But Montreal was in its diving stage then, and at Bell Center, where the fans are just so tuned in to every moment, and you know, it's the greatest away rink to do a game, because you know, everybody knows every single detail, and it's a gorgeous building, and it gives the broadcasters especially the best eye view of the rink in hockey. And Hammerlick went down, could get up. You know, he was not unconscious, and he made like he was mortally wounded in order to try to get a whistle as the Bruins were breaking up the ice, I think on a 3-on-1. And I reached my saturation point, and, you know, I just popped.
I hate that. Though, you see Gallagher come out and call out Stutzel the other day.
Oh yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And if go ahead.
You know, this is Brendan Gallagher, who played with a broken jaw last year or was it the year before in the playoffs? But you know, this guy is a warrior, and you know, venturing into politically incorrect territory again, it's unmanly to take a dive and to try to get a whistle if you're not grievously hurt. And, you know, we see hockey players do courageous things all the time. Guys go down in front of Ovechkin's slap shots, and they don't know where the puck's going. Zdeno Chara has never known where the puck's going, and players dive in front of his shot. And occasionally guys get grievously hurt, but you should not fake that. That's immoral in hockey terms.
It is. And even if you're a parent, all you parents out there listening too, if your kid has a habit of doing that, where he's laying on the fucking ice or he's laying down, get up.
Yeah. No, we talk.
Trust me, everybody sees that shit.
Hey, what's your? We got a big audience in Toronto. Listen, I mean, you guys may face each other again in the first round here. You never know. As it sits today, Tampa Bay's sitting in the 3-hole, so who knows how this is going to play out. But I mean, listen, we all know Game 7s and whatever, seeing Boston come from behind. Just rip the hearts out of the Toronto fans. I think you said something like it's not a rivalry until the Maple Leafs actually win a series.
Correct. Correct. You know, that's what made the 1988 Bruins still legendary in New England, because the Canadiens, dating back to the 1940s, had beaten the Bruins in 17 consecutive series. And the Bruins wanted them so badly, but the Canadiens treated the Bruins as like just another team until 1988. And that Bruins team turned the tables on Montreal. And now there is that bitterness that feeds rivalries, and I hope there's more of it coming in the NHL. Someday Toronto is going to beat Boston, and Boston fans will have to lick their wounds and cheer even harder at the next Toronto game.
So that game was unbelievable, that coming back in Game 7. But what's the best game you've ever called? Like the most entertaining game where you sit back and you're like, oh my God, my emotions are going through the roof?
Good question.
That's Cam. A great question. And I'm a journalist, you know that. I'm not, by the way, but go ahead.
There was a 6-5 regular season game. Well, to begin with, regular season games and playoff games are different animals. Mm-hmm. So, you know, I will give you a regular season game before I give you a playoff game. And there was a regular season game where there were, 4 lead changes, and the Bruins ended up winning 6-5 at San Jose in overtime. And there were crazy things happening all game long, but the craziest was a sequence right around Tuukka Rask's goal in which one of the posts came out of its peg, and the play continued up the ice toward the Bruins attacking zone, and Evander Kane suddenly had a breakaway from the red line in overtime, the game on his stick, and Tuukka skated out of his goal to the sideboards. He wasn't confronting Kane. He was just vacating the goal to show the referee, hey, I'm under no obligation to reset the goal. And the play was blown dead. Oh. And, you know, that was the right call, because if the officials allow play to continue and a linesman, for instance, doesn't reset the goal, the next time the puck comes into the zone with the goal that's dislodged, the play is dead. And Tuukka knew the rule, and the Bruins went on to win in OT, I think, on a McAvoy goal. But that was the most thrilling regular season game I've ever done. You know, each playoff game is a drama unto itself, but there will be nothing ever to reach Game 7 in 2013. You know, 3 goals down in Game 7 on home ice, and Kessel scores one of the goals to put Toronto prohibitively up. And Brick and I were mulling over, when do we begin the autopsy? You know, when do we speculate on Chiarelli's going to get fired, Claude is going to get fired? Who do they let go? Who do they bring in? And, you know, the Bruins got a monster couple of shifts out of Milan Lucic and clutch goal from Nathan Horton, and Bergeron tied it and then won it in overtime. And that was just unbelievably spectacular. And that will live forever.
Yeah. Milan Lucic, though.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead. Ken.
Let me ask you about, because listen, I like to, I listen to a lot of announcers, and being a tough guy and fighting, I like when they're into the fights, There's some guys like, oh, we have a fight going, but you're into the damn thing. Just like Ricky Jaranet from Buffalo too. Like, he's just into it. When Milan Lucic came on the scene and you saw that dude, and he's going out there crushing guys at a young age. We've had a great dude.
And George Peros.
And we've had everybody on, just so you
Alan
know,
Walsh.
Jackie. We've had them all on. But when Milan came on the scene, and you love that kind of stuff, like, how fun was that to watch him when he was doing it? And especially when he was fighting, he fought that commissaric, and you're going crazy. Like, God almighty. Like, how emotional is that? Like, that was a blast.
Yeah, I will quote Bob Wilson, one of my heroes and mentors, who did both Bruins and St. Louis Blues for a while, and came back to the Bruins. Bob Wilson said, "I've never seen anybody say, 'Let's get a box of popcorn now that a fight's broken out.'"
Mm-hmm. Hell no.
Go get it. I'm going to go to the bathroom.
I'm going to the bathroom now. Yeah.
Yeah, right. The whole arena goes on fire. It gets everybody that primal urge to see two guys settle it right at once. And Milan Lucic took on Rightus Ivanons.
Oh, yeah.
I think in his second NHL game, and he held his own. And Ivanon's like, wow.
He's 6'4", 260. Ivanon's jacked as
bigger than that?
He is
6'7",
Andy,
6'8".
we're the same
Crazy.
agent. He's gigantic.
Well,
Yeah, and he used to hit like he had iron fists, and Lucic is taking him on, and he held his own. He didn't lose, and he got a hero's reception back on the bench, and it was on, and he became the baddest hombre in the NHL for a while.
Yes,
Hey, I've got like three more for you. You've been great, man. We appreciate it. One of the best things you did was call out Peter Gammons, because like the people who like have a loud voice on social media and they like criticize the game when they don't really even like watch the game. I mean, maybe he does. I don't know. But there was like a Calgary Vancouver brawl, and he called the NHL a minor league sport, and so something happened, and all of a sudden, like he's doing a call cam, and he's like, "Take that, Peter Gammons," or something like that. So I mean, they kind of had to feel good, right? I mean, although he's kind of like a Boston icon too, though, isn't he, or no?
Yeah. Reasonable people can disagree, and I still consider Peter a friend, but Peter's made himself a legend covering baseball. And I know the sports are different, and they require different physical attributes. And, I know how important a grip on a bat is, but I believe I was comparing hockey injuries to
baseball.
A guy in the home run derby at the All-Star game who begged out because he had a blister on his thumb. And, I have known baseball players who've played through injuries, and I don't mean to tar the entire sport, but to call hockey a minor sport is just, that's something that makes my blood boil, because, hockey is the entire universe each spring. And it's the entire universe to me, and it's the entire universe to a sizable fanatical fan base, and to disrespect the fan base, to say that it's a minor sport, like, no, tiddlywinks is a minor sport.
Yeah.
You know,
it's Andy's favorite.
Yeah. It's them's were fighting words. So
damn right.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm curious,
I like it, man.
As a play-by-play announcer, and Cam, you can touch on this too.
Okay,
like,
thanks.
how do you know, like to decide to interject someone's personal life versus what's going on the ice, and just keep it to hockey, like the Austin Watson situation, where you said, hey, if you don't know what happened to him, you can Google it, because he was just returning from like a long suspension that was reduced.
And you know, if you looked into that, like, I think he's okay
so
on it.
So you kind of brought that up. Like, as a play-by-play announcer, do you want to avoid that? Like, what was your thought going into that call?
Well, he had just hit a player in a vulnerable position. And my athletic career, as brief and inglorious as it was ended on a cheap shot. And it endangers not only the career, but the lifestyle of a player and his family and the trajectory of his team. And Austin Watson hit a guy right between the numbers. And, I knew Travis Roy, and Travis Roy was a promising college player, and he broke his neck 11 seconds into his college hockey career, and he spent the rest of his life in a wheelchair. And he did great things for people with spinal injuries, but there is no excuse for hitting a guy who's totally vulnerable. And I just suggested to the audience that this is a character trait of Austin Watson at the time. He took advantage of a vulnerable person.
Yeah, no, I know, man. I've caught guys with elbows and stuff, but honestly, when you see the numbers, though, that's a lazy play. Like, you got to hold up and figure it out. But I'll take that Austin Matthews right now, I'll take both of them actually. That Austin Watson right now, though, he's big and tough, and I get it, man. But hey, let me ask you real quick. Like, of all the players, you're in the locker room all the time. You see him on a daily basis. The time you've been there, like, who's the coolest guy? Not the best, but like the coolest, most down to earth, where you could, like, when you talk to him, like you're talking to a real person. Who is that guy for you, Jackie boy?
Yeah, that's pretty universal throughout the Bruins room, but at the pinnacle of that is Sean Thornton.
Yeah, it's a good call. Good
Fought
call.
Fought him plenty. Tough dude.
Because that's a guy who played, I don't know how many years in the AHL, and he was one of the real bedrock reasons that the Bruins won the Cup in 2011. And he filled his role. He had skill, but he really was in the role that commanded it. But you ask Thorny a question, you'll get the answer.
Okay, last thing from me, because I work on the TV side here in St. Louis too, and listen, the rules, the way the network broadcasts are, they take over after the first round in the playoffs. Like, you're with the team the entire year. You're calling all the games, and then all of a sudden they get to the Stanley Cup final. And I think I remember, being there for the final, Game 7, Boston and whatever. We were still doing pre- and post-game shows. I want to say you were, like, doing play-by-play in the press box. I want to know who you were doing that for. Like, were you just recording it so you can have it? Like, what you were doing. And then how difficult is that as a play-by-play guy, that when your team gets to the Stanley Cup final, it's Game 7, and you're not doing the call, Jack?
I will answer that with an anecdote. So NBC, until this year, held the playoff rights exclusively after the first round. And NBC Universal is also the same corporate entity as Comcast, which is the greatest distributor of cable signals in the U.S. So NBC wangled a deal that they could simulcast the games even in the regional markets where the regional broadcasts had rights in the first round. So head to head on two different stations. And so along with Comcast's help, they broadcast an uncompressed picture on NBC Sports Boston, and they compressed the NESN signal on the same cable systems. And, you know, you would click back from one to the other, and obviously NBC's would be a much clearer picture because they were trying to use their corporate air quotes synergy to amplify the quality of their product. And they had their A-team national announcers on, and head to head, we outrated them 5-1. And that's more than a landslide. That's a mandate. And that's the audience saying, we know the lexicon and the manner and the analysis of our home regional announcers, and we prefer that by a 5-1 ratio. And I raised this at another one of the NHL media broadcast meetings before a season, and I said, you know, the NHL is desperate to discover new revenue streams. Why don't you create another channel where the regional announcers for each team have rights all the way through the Stanley Cup final for a premium like $5 a game? And, you know, in New England alone, that is conservative estimate, $1 million a game for the NHL, which raises the salary cap, which means 50% of that goes into the owner's pockets. And Gary Bettman acknowledged my suggestion, and crickets ever since. So, you know, I obviously every reporter or play-by-play announcer wants to stay with his or her story till the very end, to the very climax. Whether it goes well or goes badly, you want to complete the story. And I used to let it get me crazy, but I have realized that you can't change the things you can't change. So I live with it, but the audience has spoken, and the NHL chooses to turn a deaf ear to it.
So what'd you do with the audio? I saw you call. He was literally at his seat.
Oh yeah, I still have it. I still have it, and you can hear the resignation in my voice when Braden Shen scores.
Oh my from God. The slot from Vladdy going in the corner and throwing up. Oh, that was it.
Cam, he doesn't need to hear about.
Well, I'm just saying. Well, he knows just so he knows that I know.
Hey, the greatest single hockey game I have ever attended is I think it was Game 4 in the 2013 Stanley Cup Final between Chicago and Boston, and there were 3 lead changes, and Chicago won it 6-5 in OT, and that was hockey at the extremely highest level. And even though the Bruins lost that game, it was just unbelievable execution on both teams. And, you know, we are fans of the game first and our teams second, and that was brilliant hockey. So, I was just trying to create an audio record in case the Bruins won it, and I could have it for my descendants.
Oh yeah, I get you. I know that's good. You could have sold it too and made some money on that. We would have distributed that.
Yeah, we would have hooked you right up. That was when Bickle scored.
Be nice to our boy Trent Frederick out there.
Yes,
that's our guy.
Hey, Freddie is playing his best hockey of his life, and he's found real line mates who are compatible to his skill sets, and he's just a wonderful guy. He is living his dream and getting better every game he's on the ice, and I'm thrilled to see his development.
Yeah, he's a St. Louis shit kicker. Yeah, that's what it is, baby. Yeah, he is. You had a great call in his first fight, by the way. And his mommy and daddy were there.
Mom and dad in the
stands. Oh, Lordy B. That's what I'm talking about.
We didn't even ask you about Bergeron. Listen, you guys got so many guys. Next time we'll do that, Jack. We got to let him go. Because, you got all these legacies over there and
he's working, dude.
Legacy players and whatever. So, listen, man, hey, you've had a great run. What a career you've had. Yeah, how much longer are you going to do this?
I don't know. I hope to be calling the Bruins in their centennial year of 2024. But every step you take in broadcasting is on a trap door, and you just hope the hardware is attached. So,
hey, at least you're not in the studio calling the games anymore, Jack, where the fire alarm's going off and you gotta you gotta head down to the parking lot in the freezing cold during the third period. Those days are over.
They do that on purpose, Andy.
You truly have seen it all, Jack. After you see that, right? So,
hey, I'm the luckiest man who ever lived.
You look young too.
With soccer hair, by the way.
You look
young. He's got soccer hair.
I saw. He looks fucking young. Actually, pisses me off a little bit. You look goddamn young. Good for you, dude. Keep doing your thing.
Hey, all the best the rest of the way, and enjoy the game tomorrow night too. When the Blues are in town, it should be a good one. So
right on, buddy.
All right. Thanks for having me.
All right, anytime.
The Cam Strick Podcast is brought to you by Behlman and Behlman.com. BEHLMANN.com. Get out there to Detroit, Missouri. Check it out. On one side, you got the Buick, the GMC. Options for everybody. Then right across the street, you got the Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram. Again, find something that works for you and get yourself a new set of wheels in time for the winter. All right, that was Jack Edwards, baby.
Yeah, man.
Did you learn something, Cam?
I always learn something.
Well, what'd you learn?
About
Disney or anything like that?
Well, he was cutting out with the Disney talk. Fucking Disney weirdos. But no, I like how he speaks the truth, man. What he thinks he speaks, and I don't mind that. I get
we don't like everything he says. Let's be.
I just said I would have fucking probably confronted him on a couple things if I was involved in what he said about me, like the Watson stuff and all that. But I do appreciate. He loves the Bruins, man. He's hardcore with that shit.
He's very funny, though. The more you listen to him, I think if you take it for what it is, where it's entertainment purposes only,
every time you rehashed what he said, I giggled throughout the whole fucking thing. And people are probably like, oh, it's not funny. Well, it is funny.
Yeah.
It is funny.
He's different. Listen, here's the deal, though. There's a lot of play-by-play announcers out there. I mean, most of these guys, you get to the NHL, these play-by-play announcers are so good. They're unbelievable.
Really good.
They're really good. But it's not like every name that you mention in the league, you would say, wow, I know his style. I know exactly how he is. It's I'm not putting him in the same category as Rick Jenneret and some of these, Hall of Famers, Dan Kelly back in the day. I'm not doing that, but I'm saying when people say Jack Edwards, people know exactly who Jack Edwards is.
And they know what you're going to get.
Yes.
And they're going to get it every goddamn time. And he loves the Bruins. Supports the Bruins, sticks up for his team too.
Oh yeah, I think the fans.
I don't give a fuck.
And it's not like Cam Neely has said, "Hey, dude, you're out. You got to get you out of here."
There's a reason why he's still there. It's the guys that respect him. I'm sure he did cross the line here and there, but he doesn't.
The one thing
we always cross the line.
The Roman Polak thing. Although he had a comment there for Walshy boy.
What did he say again?
He said a one hand clap doesn't make any noise, or it makes the same amount of noise as a one-hand clap or something like that.
Yeah.
Because Walsh called him a piece of shit on Twitter.
Oh, that's right.
Right?
Alan.
But I understood why Alan Walsh was upset. That's his guy. He's protecting his guy,
and I
Roman
like that
Polak.
too.
And we love Roman Polak. And Roman Polak laying on the ice. I'm sorry.
What?
What did you say?
Nothing.
No. Roman Polak laying on the ice and had to be taken off on a stretcher. And, saying bad, hockey karma,
Well, hockey karma does exist, homeboy.
Okay, explain it to me.
It does.
What do you mean?
You're going to be a jackass. Sometimes bad things happen to you. When you're loud and you do weird things to guys and you fucking hit guys from behind and shit like that, something bad's going to happen to you.
Yeah, good.
Hockey karma's there, and
it'll
I totally
come back
believe in
and
it.
get you.
Now, do you say it after somebody's dinged up? I don't know. But again, I don't give a shit.
Sometimes you don't know the extent of the injury.
Again, I'm not playing. I look at it like as an entertainment aspect of things. I like him. Like, it doesn't bother me.
But I'll say this about Jack. He came on here and he played ball with us.
He played ball, dude.
And you know what?
I called him Jackie Boy the whole time.
Jackie Boy,
I know.
Yeah.
He's probably not used to that.
Well, no. It's a good name for him.
Well, whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just the way it is. I don't give a shit. I'm not.
And he likes our boy Trent Frederick too.
Man. He likes Trent, dude, and we love him too. So like, I don't care. I like entertainment. I get crossing the line. We cross the line every fucking day.
You said you like his fight calls.
I do. Shit, yeah. I respect him that much more because his fight calls are like emotional. Like when Trent Frederick piss pump fucking old boy when his mommy and daddy are high-fiving each other and missing and like smacking each other in the forehead. Like he's like calling it and it was so loud and cool. Like I love that. Nothing worse than getting into a good scrap and the guy's like, well, let's see what's happening here. There's things going on. No, get the fuck into it. I'm into it. Get into it. So I appreciate that.
Are the Minnesota Wild any different to you?
I don't know.
Or are they different? Like, you've seen them now a couple of times.
I don't know what to think of them.
Like, who are they?
I like them. I like them as a whole. I like their attitude. I like Kippersoft. I like Billy. They got a little bit of a different attitude. I like the goalies. I like their team. They're cool. I like their fan base.
Foligno.
Marcus, big fucking Marcus, scoring 20, hitting you, knock you out with a hit, fight you. I like their style. Everything about it. They got Delorier too. They're good, man. They're a good team. I want them to do well. It's just like you got to go through the Blues, and like we're kind of like invested into the Blues.
How would you handle Delorier if you had to? I mean, he had to fight Delorier. Would you be scared, or would you be good to go?
I mean, yeah, he's just a normal tough guy, man.
When did he all of a sudden become
I have no idea,
the heavyweight in the league, though?
No idea.
Because he's been around for a little bit, right?
No idea. He's got 400 games, man. I have no idea.
Yeah, he's got
just all of a sudden he started fighting, and I'm like, who is this?
Some guys kind of look a little scary. Like he does look a little scary.
Well, he's a big tough dude.
Yeah.
Well, usually when you're tough, you look scary too.
Yeah.
So if I looked at you, I'm like, you're not tough.
Yeah. Oh, if you looked at me,
yeah, like you are not. There's nothing that you're gonna do that scares me.
Well, something maybe.
If you're even. The only thing is, if I looked at your ear, like I look at your face and your hands, you're a pretty boy, dude.
Yeah.
You have no scars on your fucking face.
That's
your
not
hands,
true.
Oh fuck,
dude, the dog bit me when
I know what a face looks like.
I got hit with a skate during pond hockey back in the day when I was a kid.
Listen, I could look at a face and say you've never been into a war, and you haven't. I look at your hands, you've never been into a fucking war. I look at your ears, you don't have cauliflower ears, you have nothing. You are not intimidating by any stretch of the imagination.
What do you call that?
That's a fucking stupid burn while you're cooking veggies.
Yeah. I'm
eating vegetables all day. Like, I'm tough. I'm eating veggies.
I burned myself. Yes, I got a big burn on my hand.
We already heard about it.
If you want to see a picture of it,
we heard about it and no one fucking cares.
You can send me a
request. If I look at Delorier, I'm like, that dude's tougher than fuck, man. But would I fought him? Fuck yeah, of course. Like he's just a dude.
You play against Chara? Oh yeah, you did. You knocked Chara on his ass, actually.
Oh, shit. Look up highlights.
I know. But you never really engaged with him, eh?
Well, I tried to fight him a couple times. They always had Thornton and Lucic and shit, and I just didn't need to go him.
You didn't fight Lucic either, did you?
No, he didn't go me either. I tried. I ran him a couple times. We love him. Thornton's like, no, I'm going you. I'm like, let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go, baby.
Okay.
Because fucking Lucci was on the second line. He didn't fight me. In fucking 4 minutes a night.
I feel like you need to have a tough guy on the team.
Depends on what he does. You're going to go have a guy just stands around and yells like Curtis Gabriel? Fuck no. I want a guy that fucking hits and initiates shit and gets pucks out of the zone and blocks shots and is a little wild man like that fucking Tanner Jeannot motherfucker.
Who scores goals?
Scores fucking, where you at, homie? Where's Tommy Wilson? Where's his fucking clone? Where are these motherfuckers? Where's that big McDermott defenseman that we can get? Shit like that. Those are the guys I like now.
Yeah.
It's not Colton Orr. It's not Boogie.
No.
It's not Godsey. It's not the fucking Mac anymore. It's just like you got to have some style to yourself.
You're talking about McGrattan. This is what people
McGrattan, Steve McIntyre. It's like, But those guys can still get around. Mm-hmm. You know, I had to hit consistently to stay in the NHL. If just my fighting ability alone, I wouldn't have stayed 10 years. I was able to hit guys. Like, I want a guy that's fucking knows his role, hits, can play the puck, can score here and there, can put the puck in the net, doesn't take stupid motherfucking penalties like a jackass.
You know, our kids
don't take stupid penalties.
Like, Tanner Jeannot, I give him a lot of credit because, and like the Tom Wilsons, although Wilson's a little bit older, like, it's hard for these kids to come up like that because I feel like they're discouraged to be tough and like run around. Yeah. It's like, no, you score goals. You don't need to do that.
Well,
for them to have, for this young guy to come into the NHL with that type of mentality.
I know. Well, it's kind of easier now because
he's got like 15 fights, something like that.
If Tanner Jeannot came in 15 years ago and you got the big boys knocking on your door,
it's different. Yeah.
You're like, you ain't going to play that game. Mm-hmm. You don't have that anymore. Right. So like, go intimidate. Bullying, I say it all the time. Mm-hmm. It's fucking useful in the NHL. Cam, I can't believe you went bowling. No. It is. Being a bully in the NHL is different.
Bullying? Is that what you're doing?
In the NHL, goddamn right. At school, you're a motherfucker. If you fucking bully kids at school, karma's going to bite you in your ass, motherfucker. Yeah. Just remember that. Mm-hmm. And you think girls like bullies? They don't. No. So you think you can go wheel that hot chick because you're fucking bullying some little nerd kid? You're a fucking idiot.
What if you're smoking darts?
Well, and you get smoking darts in high school, like, the girls might think you're cool because you're like a rebel. Like, look, I'm smoking. But trust me, those little fucking nerd boys that are smoking darts that have like nice long like hair at the time, when they get out of high school, those girls ain't fucking banging them. They ain't. They're like, get rid of these little nerd boys. I want the shit kicker that's making money.
Or like somebody.
I want that shit kicker that's making fucking money, who's actually cool. Mm-hmm. That's what they look for. These broads are going to be away from you fucking nerds in 2 seconds, dude, because you're cool. Your mommy, daddy might have a little bit of money and you're cool. That doesn't matter.
What if you're chewing Grizzly?
It ain't good either. None of that shit's cool. Be cool. And, you know, not getting good grades, like you think like you're being a nerd because you're getting good grades. No, dude.
That's changed.
That's sexy.
That's changed
These chicks, if any smart chicks looking at a guy and evaluating them, like, well, you might be funny now and you're a class clown, but in 2 years, I don't like you. I like that cool cat over there. Didn't say much. He's got great hair. Who actually does his fucking homework. Who has like a vision on what the fuck he wants to do.
What he wants to be.
That's what the fuck the chicks want. You might think you're cool in freshman, sophomore year. Like, yeah. Those girls ain't gonna even motherfucking look at you at high school, son. So you know, they want the real folk, man. They want to know who's going to be cool after high school, who's got a vision.
You ever thought about giving like relationship advice or anything like that?
I do it every goddamn day.
Do you? Could you?
Look,
are you good at that?
I made a lot of mistakes in my day, but I did pretty good with the women folk as far as having my fun.
Yes.
Not getting into a jam, not getting pregnant.
Well, you got a lot of animals. They give you animals. There was a lot of things that would happen.
There's things that I needed to adopt their fucking dog.
Whatever it was.
Well, I had sex with 40-year-old women when I was 17. That's fine, but that's on them. That's on them, Dan. But I was mature at the kind of like, I'm like, whatever. I even told my parents about it. Like,
they did? And they were like, oh, we're proud of you, Cam.
No, my dad's like, what did she do? I'm like, yeah. I mean, maybe her husband watched. And my dad's like, yeah.
What do you think of those teachers that like all of a sudden like have those relationships with those students?
A lot of teachers these days like to like talk like sexual stuff.
What is going on with that?
Listen, what the 25-year-old teacher banging a 14-year-old, I don't know, whatever. Like,
you've seen that before, haven't you?
I don't like the fucking 40-year-old dude who's like confused on things. Teaching your kid about like sex.
No.
Like that's weird to me. Like,
you think they should have sex education in schools and everything?
Oh yeah. What, at 13, 14?
Yeah, okay. Oh, that young? I don't think they do it that young. 13?
Andy,
sex education's at 13. I thought maybe like 15 freshman year of high school or something. Is it in junior high?
I don't even have kids and I know more about the fucking school system. Man.
My kids aren't
These
there
fucking weirdos. Yeah, they are.
They're not in junior high.
These weirdos are teaching like grades. They want to teach like sex to like elementary school teachers, and that's why Florida's like, go fuck yourself. DeSantis is like, go fuck yourself. The gay bill, no, it's not that. It's no gay in the bill. If you read it, it's about just there's an age appropriateness, and like I don't want my 45-year-old virgin boy teacher with purple hair teaching my 5-year-old daughter about like transition.
5-year-old.
Yeah.
Oh, that's going on?
Yeah.
And where are you getting your information here?
From a shit ton of people. And I don't even want to hear about it, but I'm forced to.
5 years old?
Yeah, Andy. not good. It's weird.
I know.
They're like, if I look at a child, the last thing I think about is something sexual.
Oh, God.
The last thing I want to talk to them about is but these teachers, like, I feel it's necessary. It's really weird. And I don't have kids, and this is what it is. Maybe I'm wrong. You guys could correct me. It's all good. I hear about it all goddamn day.
I don't know where you're hearing this stuff. I don't know who's to who. I don't know who you're talking to.
Okay.
Is this what goes on out where
I guess
you
I'm
live?
lying.
Out where you live out there? Is that people?
The wealthy part of Frank Honey? No, not really. It's actually It's actually going on in all kinds of schools. But just so you know.
Okay.
You'll see. You'll see in the comments. Let the comments flow.
Well, let the comments flow.
And if they trip me, I'm like, okay, maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. But you'll see.
Okay.
Very weird. Yeah. Disney's kind of doing the same thing.
Disney is. Oh, yeah, with like Mickey Mouse and stuff like that, trying to change his clothes and stuff.
Oh, no. They want everything to be transgender. 50% has to be gay. This, that. It's just like, that's fine.
To include everybody. But I think it's called inclusiveness.
Andy, we're talking about children. Why would you want to take your child to Disney and have them talk about anything but fucking Mickey Mouse?
Yeah, no, I know.
Don't act
get
stupid.
that into the kids' head.
They
don't even, like, they're clean, pure souls. They don't even know what that means.
I want to be a puppy. What? No, let's talk about your sex now. Oh, this is... Wait, what the fuck?
Jeez,
So weird, man.
Okay, are you excited to go to Cabo? You got a big trip coming up now,
man.
Cam. Are you all packed and ready to go?
No.
You were going shopping the other day. What were you looking for?
We're flying
some
private.
shoes?
It doesn't matter. I could bring my hockey bag on there. It doesn't fucking matter.
Well, you got to be careful now because you're going to Mexico.
Flying private, dude. We walk right through everything.
No.
Oh, you know? Oh, tell me about flying down there, Andy.
Well, because they'll still look through your bags and stuff like that.
Yeah, I know.
And you still got to, sometimes,
I'm not bringing Coke down there.
No, but like, okay, well, you better not be. Even when you're like,
why would I?
Flying,
There's plenty of it down there.
Even when you're, you got to be careful there, too.
I ain't touching that shit down there. I don't get fucking fentanyl in my system.
You don't want all that.
Oh, dude, we're chill, man. Okay. We just chill.
Yeah, just make sure you're being smart.
Why are you telling me things?
Because
you don't know shit.
Because Brittany Griner right now is in... Okay, she's in jail now. Have you heard about the story now?
What now?
Brittany Griner. You know what the story is?
Yeah, she tried to take vape pens into Russia. Yeah, I know, Andy.
She's been locked up for several weeks.
Well, she didn't like...
I don't need to hear about you getting locked up
She didn't
in
like
Mexico.
the national anthem and said that she didn't like America. Now she's over in Russia and is stuck in a jail
cell. Is this
cell.
hockey karma that she's dealing with?
No, she just is aloof. She thinks
I hope they get her out.
This.
I hope they get her out.
I do too, man.
I feel very bad
100% do. She fucked up, but who cares, man? That wasn't that big of a fuck up.
No,
not at all.
I'm just telling you, Cam. You cannot. There's nothing I can do for you if you get yourself in a jam.
Why would I call you anyway? For what? Anything? Except for you want to book a guest. Other than that, I don't know what the fuck you want me to do.
Sometimes when you fly private, you still have to walk through that small little metal detector.
I'm not bringing anything into fucking Cabo,
just to make sure
whatever I need is already in Cabo, and I just go get it.
Making sure you know that.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Jesus Christ.
Anything else you want to throw in there about Jackie Boy or no?
No, Jackie's cool, man.
Okay. You changed your you feel differently about him before he came on, or you always felt he was.
I kind of liked him. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just if you would have chirped me for something I didn't do.
Well, he might have, and you just don't even know about it. And
I didn't hear about it.
He would have chirped the shit out of you.
And if I would have heard about it, I would have talked to him about it. But I didn't hear about
the shit out of you.
Of course he would have, and you. He's probably chirping you right now.
Oh my God! He's not chirping me. He's maybe chirping some other people, but. He's not chirping Hair Club, I can tell you that right now.
Well, why would he's got a full set of hair on that motherfucker?
Soccer hair is what he has.
Yeah, he's got good hair on him.
He had a bad soccer injury. You hear about that?
Yeah, he talked to us about it.
He talked about that soccer injury.
I know.
He's got that soccer hair, but no, he's, listen, Hair Club is there for everybody, isn't it?
Of course it is.
Yeah.
Easy peasy, baby. Men and women. Go in there. Quit looking at yourself in the mirror and be like, oh, God, what am I going to do? Just go get it done.
Yes.
Just go talk to him. Walk in the fucking door. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you just
Were you nervous the first time you walked through those doors?
A little bit.
But they treat you wonderful.
They treated me
like I was
Cleopatra. God. Yeah, they carry me everywhere. They take I go, can you give me another thing on my head? Can you look around my scalp? And they just touch
Where are they taking the hair from that they put on
in the very back where you really don't lose it much.
Okay.
I have a thick part in the back of my head where my cranium is.
What size is your head?
Gigantic.
Like over 8 probably? If you ever get a fitted hat, what's the size you go for?
All the hats that don't fit you fit me.
Okay.
So you know.
800-279-7878. Go to our landing page, Cam, and you can just book your first consultation from there. You're going to save a bunch of money, hundreds of dollars. Again, hairclub.com/Cam and Strick, 800-279-7878. Go there and go there today. Car Shield, what's the phone number, Cam?
Man, quit asking me
what
shit
is
like
the
that.
phone number to Car Shield?
I don't know.
800-857-2481. All right, so you do know.
I do.
You got to apply yourself.
But you can't put me in a spot like that, and I don't remember anything.
All right, let's do it again. 800-857-2481.
Good.
There you go. And the promo code is what?
Cam.
Okay. And that'll save you some money.
Yes.
Get that protection today and do it now. And make sure you're protected. I talked to somebody the other day. They were like, hey, if I didn't have that car shield protection, I would have been.
Motherfucker.
You know what?
Motherfucker.
Yeah. Thousands and thousands of dollars.
Embarrassing. God damn, I hate being embarrassed.
Yeah. Well, you don't want that.
Oh, God. I always get myself in jams where I'm always embarrassed.
Have you been getting yourself in a jam recently?
Well, the guy that fucking like strip searched me in front of all the fans. I just wanted to smoke a dart. I only smoked half of it.
Why are you doing that anyway?
I was drinking heavily.
You're trying to be cool. You're trying to be cool. The peer pressure is what were you having a Virginia Slim? Is that what you were having?
You can't recycle my jokes and put them back on me, dude. It doesn't work that way.
Well, you're the one smoking the darts.
No, I smoke darts because I'm a fucking, I don't know, I'm a psycho. I just wanted to get a nicotine buzz, and I did.
Well, you can do that with
then I come back in, I got goddamn fucking molested walking back in, and I'm like, this is cool. It put me in a bad mood. So that was embarrassing. God damn it, man.
I love that security guy. I want to meet that guy in person, man.
Oh, he was laughing the whole
thank
fucking
him.
time. I'm thinking, like, what am I doing? Like, the people are like, hey, Cam,
that is
come on.
very embarrassing. It's bad for the brand, actually.
I could.
That's not good for both
No
of
wonder
us.
a lot of guys are like, I don't know if I want to do it.
Can you make sure that doesn't happen again? Do me a favor. Next time you go down there, just like don't. Will you go back to a game here soon, or are you gonna? Is it too much for you? Is it like
I like watching at home, man.
Yeah, do you? Yeah.
I didn't watch 1 second.
It's a big commitment for you to like drive all the way and do all that.
Well, I don't drive, but
yeah,
it didn't cost money to have people drive you, this, that, and the other. And then we had people too, and it's like when I'm downtown, I'm like, get me the motherfuck back home. Get me home now. And Kate's like, let's go here. I'm like, no.
Well, I told you how I had to walk through the crossfire the other day at the game. Yeah, dude. Bullets were flying. The kids were like running across the street in like hoodies and stuff like that. I'm just telling you what happened.
I ain't aloof to that fucking downtown, brother. Yeah. I've been down there doing hardcore shit. I know those hardcore motherfuckers. They don't give a fuck. They'll kill you for your cell phone. Make a call 2 seconds later and get arrested and not even care.
Oh, really?
Yeah, really.
They don't even care.
15-year-old kid will hold you up and with a gun and steal your phone and make a call and get arrested. Let me tell 2 seconds later because he made a call.
I know a guy who is a PE teacher in a jail, in a penitentiary. He's a PE teacher. Like they have like gym class, Yeah,
it must be a great job.
No, he's a great dude. Great dude. And well, somebody's got to do it, man. Like you got to care for everybody and whatever.
Somebody's got to be a PE teacher in a prison.
He's a PE teacher.
No, you don't.
And you know what he says though?
No, you don't.
No, you know what he says? All the fights that he sees.
Yeah.
This is the guy I know. All the fights that he sees. Very good gym teacher, by the way.
I bet.
Okay.
I bet.
The fights that he sees, he says he never sees the 50-year-old lose to the 25-year-old. He said the 50-year-old wins the fist fight every single time. He goes, all these 45, 50, 55-year-olds, they grew up in the streets. You know what they were doing? Fighting. You know what the 25-year-old? You want to know what the 25-year-olds were doing?
TikTok.
Shooting.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
That makes sense.
These guys grew up shooting.
That's
the OGs.
You made a good point.
They grew up fighting.
I was wondering where you're going with that, and I'm like, don't make me fucking bash you again. Mm-hmm. That made a lot of sense. You're 100% right. Yeah, dude. Goddamn right. Growing up in the 70s and shit. Now, the late 80s, you started getting that gun.
Yeah, I know, but they still fist fight.
But the fucking shit kickers that would still fight, and they'd have those things where you get indoctrinated into a gang and you have to fight. Now it's all guns. These 15, 14-year-old kids are going out to Eureka, Missouri, and robbing people. And those good old boys out there are like, I'll fucking kill you, too. Because you know what? You might have a handgun. I got 50 guns in my house. And I don't use them. But I'll fucking kill your stupid ass.
I need you to watch the Pam Hupp story when you're on the plane, too. You can just knock out all 6 episodes if you want on the trip, okay? So next time we get back together, you can maybe help us. You can give us your take on what took place.
Yeah. She killed people.
Yeah.
What do you want to do?
Lucy Goosey. You familiar with that? Lucy.co.
Got one in right now, baby.
It's available in Canada right now, baby. Hey, listen, everyone needs to know that. All the Canadian folk out there, including those here in the States, too, use that promo code Cam Strick. And you're going to save a bunch of money on Lucy.co. It is now available in Canada. Lots of different flavors. They've got the
cinema
lozenges. They've got the pouches. They've got the gum. You don't need to be like smoking darts and stuff like that.
And I smoked a dart. Ain't that big of a deal.
No, you don't need to be
doing
that. I
got sexually harassed afterwards.
Well, yes, you did. Lucy.co.
So embarrassing.
It's very embarrassing. It's embarrassing me, too.
Kate was rattled that I was rattled because she knows when I'm rattled, I'm done.
Well,
I'm done.
I'm just glad he didn't have you empty the pockets.
I know. I'm such a princess, and I get that. You guys could chirp me all you want, but it's just like, I don't like that. No. I don't like authority.
Well, don't be leaving the rink.
I didn't do anything
during
wrong.
The game.
Andy, I didn't do anything wrong. I didn't try to overstep myself.
Kind of.
No, I didn't.
Were you like peacocking, like, hey, I can just...
I always peacock, but I don't act tough. I don't act like I know. I just nice.
I don't know. I'm going to have to go
do
ask.
I have a bad... I'm sorry. Do I have a bad reputation?
No, but I'm going to have to ask the guy what went down, what happened. Did you catch the name or no?
No, I'm not doing any of that shit.
Okay, well, I'm going
to give me the... Actually, I'm just like, help me. Just get me out of here. Put my head down.
Let me find out.
No, I don't want anything with anything. I just probably won't go ever again.
So again, Lucy.co. Be sure to check that out and check out all the flavors available in Canada. Like I said, the Better Business Bureau, Cam.
Yeah, baby.
What do we need to know about the Better Business Bureau?
Well, I don't want to get goddamn. I don't want to go get scurvy from a goddamn fucking shithole Holiday Inn Express. Like, you got to know where you're going. You don't want to fuck your whole thing up. Imagine you taking all the kids somewhere and you got bed bugs and shit, or some weirdo fucking creepy guy creeping your girl out and shit. Fuck that. Like, you know all the stuff. BBB, man, they'll tell you everything. They've been around for a long time. Long time.
They are, man. BBB.org. And again, check it out. And they also will give you the recommendations and reviews on charities, too, because a lot of people out there are donating money to charity. Make sure you're putting your money into the right spot. Don't be donating money and all of a sudden being like, why did I give that guy?
Yeah, where'd that money go?
No, you don't want to do that.
It's like a PPP.
You do not want to do that. All right, Behlman, Behlman.com. BEHLMANN.com. You got the Buick, the GMC, the Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram. We give a shout out to Danny Boy.
What up, Danny
Boy?
To
Kenny. Say what's up to Kenny.
Hi, Kenny.
You were saying Kyle last time.
Whatever.
Yeah, and say hi to Dale too.
Hi, Dale. What's up, baby? I didn't say Kyle last time.
Get yourself a new ride. Get yourself a new ride. And if you have a used car, man, they will give you above Kelly Blue Book right now. All right, this has been Jack Edwards on this edition. Cam, have a great trip, man. We'll be talking to you live.
Love all you guys. I love you guys, man.
Looking forward to that. Hey, hit us up on Instagram, Twitter. Direct messages are always open. My Cameo is available right now. It's on sale, as a matter of fact.
Of course it is.
Have you been getting Cameos?
Yeah, I got a couple lately.
Have you?
Yeah, I got a couple lately. I did. They're $100 now, and I'm like, well, I'm not doing it unless it's $100.
Yeah, no, I understand.
I'm just like,
I understand.
Man, I'm doing 6 minutes, and I'm just like, ugh.
Oh, well, that's
and they don't even give me
long.
the description of really what I need to talk about, so I just fucking go off on. One time, a guy wanted me to do a cameo, and he said he's talking to this girl, and he wanted me to tell the girl about him in the relationship. So I'm like, hey, guy, he loves you so much, and he's like, Cam, we just started dating.
Oh.
I'm like, well, I didn't know. I'm like, he stares into your. I'm just being funny.
Oh my god! You ruined it for him.
Yeah, well, he fucked up.
You made it very.
Why you give?
Listen,
if I'm dating a chick, I'm not having some dude.
All y'all listening right now, this is why you come to me for Cameo. Don't make that
your girl get really horny.
Ass mistake.
Your girl get really horny.
I would have handled that with perfection.
He didn't. He was just starting to date her, and he wanted me to give her a cameo. I'm like, I thought they were married.
Between that, the security guard, there's been a lot of things happening right now. I'm not happy about it. I'm not happy about it.
I am a disaster.
We'll discuss that.
I don't know what to do.
Maybe it's time for you to go on vacation. Just hit the reset button.
I can't do anything without being uncomfortable.
Hit the reset button. Go to camstrick.com though and listen to any episodes that you may have missed over the last few years as well. You can check those out. We appreciate all the support. Give us a like on the podcast app. And throw us a comment too, man. Let us know what you like and what you don't like.
Love all y'all.
We're open to everything. So
I got my DMs open, dudes. You know that, man.
Yes, this has been Jack Edwards. We appreciate him for coming on as well. Good luck to the Bruins in the playoffs in the Eastern Conference. So for everybody affiliated with the Cam Strick Podcast, until next time, thanks for listening as always.